I sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regrets. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
Oh, we're going to just keep going? I think it is. Yeah, let's just stop that. Welcome, folks. We are live. This is the last party of the weekend. I'm your host, Chris Burnett. This is 10 Drink Minimum, sponsored by One Topo Chico Seltzer. But it's not the only booze we have today.
Oh, no.
We have James Smiley in the studio. There he is.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you could see me. I was in the background anyway, but I am in the studio in case you couldn't hear me.
Yeah. So 16 years ago, Smiley. 16 years ago. I would say the brewery revolution kind of started in Albuquerque, right?
I would believe so, yeah.
Yeah, right. There was like this little small box of a building on Marble and First Street that opened up. And I think it used to be a methadone clinic. I think that's what it was before. That's what I heard.
Most of them are.
Yeah. Still are. No, but there was I went there and I started drinking craft beer, and there was a beer that they had that I was like, what the fuck? This beer's knocking me out and I love it. And that was the Marble Red.
Yeah.
So much so that when they rebranded, I was upset about it. Number one, I was upset because I loved these tap handles. I loved them. They were a marble, and then in their logo, they had a little hop inside the marble, right? And they rebranded and got rid of these, and they sold these, and I made sure I got one. Loved it. And throughout the years, I've had my love and hate relationship with the place. It's been one of those like things where like I'd love to go. The music was great. Didn't really know like the ownership. Never really got to know them. Then like the culture changed, and it turned into this kind of weird like nightclub environment. Very weird. But recently, there was like stories and rumors, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And I heard that like some big real estate magnate was going to buy it, and sure enough, that wasn't the case. and then I look one day on Facebook, and the KOB or whatever is like local brewer and former employee of such and such place buys Marble Brewing. And so I was like, as soon as I found out who it was, I was like, first of all, I was like, what the fuck? Bullshit, man. That's bullshit, but awesome. And anyway, but in the studio today he's a brewing genius and legend, and has created some of the greatest beers in New Mexico's history. And now he's the owner of Marble. We have Bert Boyce in the studio.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I knocked my double. I knocked my double white on the floor.
You did lose your double white.
Okay, it wasn't open, right?
Yeah,
it was unopened.
Thank God. Yeah,
below your throne.
Oh, God dang it! These thrones get in the way of life. Don't get yourself a throne.
Throne problems.
Yeah, let's fix Smiley's camera.
Oh yeah, you need to see my shoes. I don't think.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got some nice shoes.
You do have nice
Today.
shoes. Hold on,
Your outfit looks very well coordinated. Actually, looks very intentional.
Oh no, thank you. I knew it was going to be on camera at some point. I figured I should match it up and not just be like, "It's hot. I should wear something."
Right. Let's fix his camera. It's camera 3, upper body. There we go. That'll go.
There we go. That's how I usually look.
There we go.
So man, it's been. I mean, we see each other from time to time, randomly at shows and whatnot. Like you and I kind of have similar tastes in music, right?
You could say that.
Did you go to the Deer Tick show?
I did not.
Was that a store thing or no?
No, these days there are more shows on the calendar than I can possibly see. I did see Tyler Childers this week. That was pretty
How
great.
was that?
Amazing, dude. So good. It's only the second show I've ever been to it as Led. I don't usually go to big venues.
I don't like it.
Crushed it, dude. He crushed it.
That guy's awesome. I saw Ryan Adams a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Launch. What God knows. El Rey, where was he playing?
It was Kiva. Chemo. And if it wasn't for this fucking loudmouth jackass behind me, it would have been my number 2 show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
So it's probably by top 3.
Someone else played at the Chemo on Saturday a couple weeks ago, the Jayhawks.
Really?
Yeah, and I had tickets, and then my daughter was super sick, so I didn't get to go.
Damn kids getting in the way of like fun and drinking and bullshit.
It's frankly, someone should do something about this.
Yeah, all these kids and stuff. It's like, don't they have time for? If they have time to be sick, they got time to work, right?
They do. Yeah, actually, I'm training them pretty hard.
So, man,
my mom just left me home with a dog. You're like, that's what I got this dog for, to babysit you.
Right.
You're not alone. Cry to the dog.
Yeah, the dog will hear your pleas. Have you seen Lassie?
Yeah, haven't you seen Lassie? You're good.
I saw one recently where it was like a Lassie cartoon, and they're like, "What boy? What about the well?" And
there's a boy in a well.
And the kid follows the dog to the well, and the kid looks in the well, and he's like, "There's a bunch of dead kids in here," and the dog pushes him in. I was like, "This is awesome." That was pretty dark take on that old trope. That's pretty good. So, man, can you tell us what happened? How did all that work, man? Like, so you were brewing, and then you weren't.
Yeah. I mean, the short version, the short version is that like most brewers, we kind of get into this business with this idea that we want to run our own place. But a lot of that stems from when you're younger. You have like this vision of artistic integrity, whatever that means. And you are like, the only way I can make the best beer in the world is if I make it exactly my way. And then I have to own the place in order to do that. So no one can tell me what to do. And surely I felt that way a long time ago, but I don't anymore.
Really?
No, we'll get into this, but but I still never lost the desire. My parents work for themselves. I grew up working for my dad. It's just always been in the blood. Like, I want to do this. I know how to do this. And so the short version is, we heard through the grapevine that that Marble had fallen on some tough times, financially,
right?
Probably due to a series of
compounding
events.
I mean, I would hear it all. You would hear all of it,
totally. But luckily I don't live in the past. So So short story is the owners were looking to get up. They needed some serious help, and my partner Jarrett and I were able to make some phone calls, and luckily we have a track record where the people we called said yes, and here we are.
That's and that's in like I'd heard like that some big real estate guy, the people behind like Sawmill Lofts were going to be behind it. And I mean, they still might be. I don't know.
Oh, they're not. For the record, Jim Long has nothing to do with our team.
And
the rumor mill was going.
Yeah, it was going strong.
Months, man.
I mean, Jim Long was who everyone thought was doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know the guy, but honestly, like everything I've heard about how he does business, like probably wouldn't have been a bad choice. But
really, okay.
I don't know. From what I've heard,
I don't know him either, and I don't know anything about him, and I don't really want to, But like I was happy that someone was going to not let it go away, but I was like, not, it wouldn't been my choice.
No, of course. I mean, so let's be honest. Like, it's not very often that, we're just two dudes. I'm a brewer. He's a sales guy.
Well, before you get into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Like when your guys' name got announced, like that would have been like, in my mind, you guys would have been like the dream team of doing it. Like I would have been like, well, I mean, I'm glad somebody's buying it. And if someone said, who would you wish could own it? I'd be like, fuck. I mean, like Bert Boyce and, those cats. But I would have been like, there's no way in hell. And then when it was announced, I was like, oh, what the fuck? I was like gobsmacked. So go ahead. Sorry. I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah. I don't know where I was. We're just two dudes that, luckily, we had a couple people that believed in us and a bank that believed in us. I mean, I'm in debt for the fucking rest of my life. This is not like there's no fairy tale here. Like,
no,
I got a bank loan that's gonna probably bury me, but but I don't care because this is what we wanted to do.
Right.
It feels good, man. It feels right. We got a great team. Like, I mean, so much energy. Like, we believe that we can do this.
Yeah. There's a moment like you and I were talking right before. If I could not drop anything, I just spilled on myself. But like you and I were talking earlier.
No one even saw that. You could have just smoothly let it go.
This is about realism. So
Chris is all, just so you know, I just peed myself. I know it's not on camera.
I peed myself. So, but you and I were talking. We're both 50.
Yeah.
So there's a moment in your life that you either shit or get off the pot.
100%, man.
And that's where I think you guys maybe were. I don't know. And it was like, because I know, and this, you could tell me I'm wrong, but I know in like 2019 this was a plan.
Yeah, for sure.
You were going to El Paso,
and very public, But,
yeah.
In 2019, I had, and all the way until April 2020 when COVID started. I was very close to opening a brewery in El Paso. Still have a lot of love for that city. And then COVID hit, and I was weeks away from signing a very legally binding, very expensive lease that would have been a stretch even in perfect conditions. And then COVID happened. And we're like, whoa, let's just pump the brakes. And then, it never picked up enough momentum to make it happen.
The COVID wrecking ball.
Yeah. It really did. I mean, frankly, but fast forward 5 years, this is the best possible outcome.
Absolutely.
I could not be more thrilled with where I'm sitting today, man, like this is real.
And the thing is crazy. Here's what's crazy to me. Smiley and I did a Comic-Con in El Paso
a couple months ago. And you go there and like you'll go to a restaurant and they're like, you have the menu and they'll bring it out and it says local, or it says domestic, and it's like, Bud Light, Budweiser, Corona, all that shit. And then it's like imported, and it'll be like Heineken. But then when it says local, it's like Marble, Santa Fe, all that. So like you would have actually been the local.
Bingo.
Yeah. You would have been,
I would have been. And honestly, still to this day, again, coming back to Marble right now, like Marble, El Paso is a great market for Marble.
Sure.
The cultural connection between El Paso and Albuquerque is stronger than a lot of people admit. I don't know why more people don't hang out there. Like
they hate it.
I know. It blows my mind.
And it's dope as shit.
It is dope as shit, dude. That town is so cool. I mean, I love Albuquerque. For the record, I've been here for 10 years. I'm from San Diego. I'm in Albuquerque because I choose to be. I love it here. But I also loved El Paso. There's something about a border town like that feels like just so raw and real.
Well, and like I'll tell you this, there's a lot of issues I have with what they want to do with downtown Albuquerque. But if they brought in whoever did El Paso's and cleaned up El Paso's, I would be 100%, 120% behind it. The way they did El Paso's downtown now, that like Smiley was down there, right? How cool was that?
Oh man, we had so much fun like walking around down there.
Yeah.
It was great.
Have you gone to that bar, The Tap?
Oh yeah,
that place rules, man.
Yeah. Yes,
I go in there and like you're sitting there and you're ordering food and like I like we were only two white people in the whole place, I think.
Yeah, but we were from New Mexico. We could understand an order.
But like the lady comes over, she starts talking to us, and I'm pretty sure she either didn't speak English or she didn't want to, which is fine.
Either or.
Yes. Yeah. And we spoke enough where it was really cool. And then we ended up being friends with her, and like we had a good time. It was her birthday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we came back the next night and it was her birthday.
Yeah.
So we had her little birthday belt on.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. So I mean, places like that, you just that's where I feel like a lot of this, where they want to do progress, you can't lose the local color and the local culture. You just cannot lose it.
100%. I mean,
and Marble has become part of that, and that was a big sadness to me. Like no matter how I felt, Marble had become in the years, and I had no issue with it. What I had issue with it going away.
Sure.
I
think everyone did.
Yeah. It was a thing. It was like sad. It was like, come on, man, that can't happen. And I was like,
I know it's been there. It's been there for so long. Like I remember,
it's a staple. It's like
I remember when it started, and I was working at the Blackbird, and I was like, I was telling the manager, I was like, you should get this new Marble on tap.
Right.
If you need a couple new tap handles, you should go walk over there. You want me to walk over there? I can talk to him.
Yeah. I remember when they did have Marble. They had Marble on tap at Blackbird, and then they replaced them with Tractor. and I was mad. I was like, what the fuck? This was Tractor before David and those guys bought it.
Okay.
This was old Tractor, like the original. And I was like, man, come on. What are you doing here? And I didn't even know them. And now, you know, I was mad about it. Because the Marble Red was like the beer.
It was. Yeah. And you know, like, I know we're jumping all over the place right now. We just re-released Marble Red in cans. The public support for that beer, like, maybe the younger generation of the kids don't love it, but like everyone our age that grew up that was that turning point in our drinking local beer experience. Dude, the response has been huge for Marble Red in cans. Oh yeah.
Isn't it weird they got rid of that beer? Like, what was the thinking there?
I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah.
A lot of baffling decisions.
Yeah. So when you got in, like, so you're from a large, you know, one of the larger, like one of the competitors, one of the larger competitors in the area. I wouldn't say like competitive, like, you know, in a bad way, like friendly. Like, here's the thing that trips me out. You and I met each other. How long have you been here?
11 years.
So we've probably known each other about at least 10 years.
Easily.
I
feel like you're one of the first people I met when I moved here.
Okay. So that's the thing that's crazy to me is like 10 years ago, we were all friends.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
Like, even if like there was people in the industry that like weren't liked, we'd all drink together and we would all like hang out, and you'd go to a brewery festival and everybody would be there and you'd have some beers. And
I think it's still mostly that way.
Is it? All right.
Well, I with a caveat, and it's always been this way actually.
Yeah.
Brewers almost always get along.
Yeah.
And the sales teams usually do not.
No.
That's where the competition is you know, at the retail shelf level, so, or the tap handle level.
Yeah, I get that. And Smiley works in that industry.
Yeah. Yay, the liquor industry. Always talking shit about the other liquor stores.
Yeah.
What are they doing over there? We know all their names though. We're using their first names as we're talking shit.
Yeah. But I still feel like, but see, the problem too is like, you know, for a long time there, it was like everyone was like equal and everybody was there, and, you know, everyone was on the upswing of the whole brewery thing.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and there was a lot of people involved, and then now you look around and you're like, shit, I don't even know some of these people, and then some of them are just completely gone. You know,
I mean, it's a rough life, man. It's not for everyone.
No,
not everyone makes it. Not everyone manages their you know, their recreation responsibly.
Well, and it's like being in a band. It's like being in a podcast. You know, doing it. If you don't have the passion for it, then you're not going to do it.
You don't have the passion and the constitution. I think you gotta have
it's
both.
hard. It's fucking hard. You know?
Man.
And I think a lot of the problem, and I don't say problem, but a lot of like how we are as people is when it took off, all because of a loophole that someone exploited one day. It took off. A lot of people were like, "Oh, this could be easy money. Let's get into this." And I think a lot of that happened.
It absolutely did.
And they found out, they're like, "Oh shit, this was way harder than we anticipated." And I don't really love beer all that much, and sold out.
Are you talking about when we had 1 million breweries in town?
There was what, like 65 plus breweries and tap rooms at one point, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, watching like Marble go from like this small little box to I remember. So when I first started going there, they had a fenced in side patio. The stage was outside of the fence. So when the band was playing on the stage, they couldn't even drink because they were not allowed to. And like you could walk behind the band.
Yep.
And then I remember they built that like brewing area in the back that's in the background now of the stage.
Uh-huh.
And then they pushed the stage and then moved the fence and then had that big mural put there that's been there for a long time, which is great. It's kind of legendary. It's fun.
Yep.
And then the band could drink. And I was like, that's kind of funny. And I just remember like when the bands would drink there, they were like, yeah, dude, you just have as much as you want. They don't stop you. You know?
Well, the music's free. So
yeah. Pretty much.
Everyone gets what they pay for.
And then for a while there, Marble was like, if you wanted to go see a good show, especially like Sunday, like afternoon or Saturday, you know.
And you know, like, you know, we started the show, like you and I have a shared love for very similar kinds of music and just live music in general, I think, right? It's like it's a
Yeah,
real,
of course, yeah.
it's an important touch point in bringing people together for me, anyways.
Right.
Some people have other things, other shows. We're really trying to bring that back, focusing on a really broad spectrum, not just the music. You know,
Yeah.
I don't touch the music because I like my likes are very specific. So I'm
Sure.
like, dude, I don't touch that. Otherwise, everyone would get bored real fast. But yeah,
It'd be the same bands playing every
It
week.
would be the same
And
band
you're all,
every week.
yes,
Again.
yes.
Playing for the third weekend in a row.
Welcome to Lily and the Jackhammers, everyone.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we're pushing hard on that because I think an important part of what a brewery should do is be a community cornerstone.
Yeah.
And what better way than to have free local music and
Right.
and local art and support your community. Like, it would be impossible for us to charge tickets anyways. But the fact that we're able to offer free music it just makes my heart happy.
Oh, for sure, man. And it's one of those things where it's like, the stage there, you have the upper area, you have the lower, patio, and you could sit inside. I mean, it's such a cool, always was a cool location.
Yeah.
And watching it go from like, I remember Marble being the one of the genesises of the 3 beer rule. And I remember sitting in there. I turned around and looked at this guy, probably in his 50s at the time. And but it was back whenever they were like, oh, we should probably get a water cooler so people could drink water if they want. I look over and this guy's like standing next to the water cooler and he does this like little kind of like, and then he just grabs the water cooler and falls sideways. And it was because people they were drinking Miller Lite and then they decided to come have these beers and knock the shit out of them, 5.5 beers or, and so then one day I remember the bar manager got up on the bar and she's all, who threw up in the urinal? Which one of you motherfuckers? And and then they stopped doing the 22s. Then all of a sudden they brought the 22s back, but then you could only have 3. And then it got to such a staple. People were like, well, that's the law. I'm like, it is not the law. The law does not say you can only have 3 beers. I said, that's their rule. And that's what a lot of people have taken, which is fine.
There's a sordid story behind the Albuquerque 3 beer limit.
Is this the Chama?
It's related to Chama. It's related to Chama, which is how it got passed to Marble, and then how it got passed. How it didn't even get passed. A lot of other breweries just adopted it.
Just adopt it. Yeah. And it's smart.
I mean, sure, it makes it. I'm sure it's great for the servers. You're like, I know you're not drunk, but 3 drinks or whatever you're done.
Yeah,
it has its limitations and also has it backfires in a lot of ways. I don't want to get too political here, but and this isn't a political subject at all. It encourages people to bar hop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then a good bartender keeps track of every one of their patrons. They know how many they've had. They know their condition. They know if they've ate. And if people are leaving and coming and going, and it just creates a different environment for the bartender to keep track of.
That's true. And then the next one has no idea.
0.
Like, boom.
Yep. Clean slate. You walk in, clean slate.
Yeah. Of course. And and some people can handle like 3 beers like that, and some people cannot.
True.
I am currently drinking the Marble Double White here.
Blast from the past.
Blast from the past.
Classic.
It's a classic. It's had its ups, its downs.
It has
I would say. So with that, like, okay, you were last time you were on this show, you debuted the 7K for Santa Fe Brewing.
Really?
That is right.
Oh, wow.
It had never been drank outside of you guys, I think. And you're like, hey, can we come over and like bring a beer? And I was like, yeah. And it was the 7K. And now that's like one of the most popular beers in the state, right?
It is by far the most popular beer in the state.
Yeah. Do you know how much I stock that in my store?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. It flies off the
and
shelves.
you brewed that beer. That's yours, right?
I don't really like that part of the industry. My recipe sort of like,
sure.
But yes, our team and I had a big hand in developing the recipe.
Yeah.
And I think the most important part about making a new beer or tweaking an old beer is just figuring out who your customer is and what they want, and then work backwards from that. So kind of how we got there.
Well, with that, what do you got on the horizon coming from Marble?
We do it. Obviously, we're working on some things.
You don't want to tell. You don't want to tell us.
No, this is not the grand reveal. I'm not close enough yet.
You son of a bitch! Come on, man.
Can I come back next year, early next year, when I'll let you know?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
hell yeah.
Of course you can. Come back anytime you want. We'll here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do for you, Bert. We'll build a bar right over here.
That'd be sick.
We'll get a tap system in it.
Okay.
And then you just bring us kegs.
Well, can I replace that Topo Chico hard seltzer button?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you do that, yeah.
Okay.
If we have we could get kegs and just have Marble on tap in here. Absolutely.
Just a little 6-barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Damn, you heard it, Smiley.
I know he put me on the spot on air.
Oh, you knew it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the one that gets the sponsors.
Yeah. for the Marble beer sponsor, absolutely. You know what? You know what?
I don't even feel backed into a corner. I feel like this is a pretty this is a pretty simple win-win.
I don't understand. You know what? See, here's the thing. Like when someone the other night was like, "Man, I just don't understand why you don't make a lot of money off your thing." And I was like, "Let me tell you." I said, "I burn the shit out of some people when it comes to like sponsorships, whatever. Like if I don't like it, I'll talk mad shit about it, and they don't like. But like I do like Topo Chico. Like I love the Topo Chico hard seltzer.
I agree. It's a good seltzer.
I love the water. I just hope nobody gets sick off of it. Right now, they're
They did that.
the recall.
Yeah, not this week. Don't drink it this week.
Yeah, don't drink it this week. But I have Topo Chico like Converse that I own. I went and bought them.
Does Malort sponsor you?
I wish.
But
See,
they're okay with us using the Malort logos
yeah,
and everything.
dude, I have a tattoo.
Yeah.
Right here. See?
Don't you have some weird red velvety jacket or something? Too?
I have hoodies that I made because I wanted the hoodies because I saw one on a music video, so I made them, and I gave one to my friend Ming, and Ming wore it to the distillery, and they were like, "Where did you get that?" And he's like, "My friend in New Mexico made them," and they're like, and they were like, "Oh." And like, we don't even sell Malort in New Mexico. And he's like, I know, but he gets it. And they're like, oh, and he's like, and he was like, are you guys mad at him? They're like, no, I don't care.
I thought you had some like red pleather bomber jacket thing.
No.
Okay.
No, God, no.
Someone else.
That would be amazing.
Someone else. I have another friend, Alex, who is also equally obsessed with.
I would like that.
All the terribleness that whatever comes with that beverage entails.
And you hate it.
I do. I hate it with a passion.
So last time we were in Chicago in October, and I think we'll probably be in Chicago again in October. But we went to the distillery, and they had oh my God, I was so hungover. Imagine it's 10 a.m. You're in the distillery. You know how that smells.
Are you hungover from drinking Malort the night before? You probably smelled it and you felt bad the next day.
So not only
Malort, no shade, but it's a weird.
Oh, they don't, dude. They could give no fucks about the shade. They love the shade. So like we go, and they had the normal Malort. They had the Malort aged in a bourbon barrel. They had Malort aged in a Lefroy barrel.
That was special.
What else did they have? They had the one that was like the Valentine's Day one. Do you remember this?
Yes, I had the Valentine's one that was Malort with rose water and chocolate.
Yep.
Yeah, that was insane.
As if that helps.
Yeah, and
I mean, it helps it taste worse. Yes, it does.
Yeah, the Lefroy one almost made me yak.
I liked that one.
I secretly took
Scotch.
I usually have no issues, but I secretly like took my last shot and dumped it in the trash. I was like, oh God, I am hurting.
They just kept getting weirder and more bizarre. Yeah. And here's some other specialty flavor. We're like, it's what now?
I think that's their whole thing, right? Like,
yeah, they're trying to push you.
They're trying to push you to the edge.
They're actually trying to make it worse.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing was, it's like he's like, hey, you guys want to go up on the roof? And it's like this 4-story building in like this cool neighborhood in Chicago. So we got to go up on the roof and just kind of like, I mean, it was amazing to just look out over like the Chicago skyline, and it was really awesome. You know?
That part sounds good.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then the guy's like, he's like, you guys want to go have tacos? Because it was in like a Mexican neighborhood, so we went and had tacos. It was kind of interesting.
That was great. And
yeah.
So my brother-in-law lives in Chicago, and I used to live in Cincinnati. I moved here from Cincinnati, actually. And it's just a couple hour drive. So we drive Friday night from Cincy, get off work and drive up to Chicago to hang out with my brother-in-law and his wife.
Oh yeah.
And we meet him at a bar, and bars. I don't even know if they close, but like we'd get there at midnight or something.
They close at 4.
Yeah, 4 a.m. honestly, you know, as I get older, I'm like, that is too late.
Yeah.
Thank God for 2 a.m. closings that keep me alive. But anyways, he would greet me with a beer and a shot of Malort. Like, welcome to Chicago. Here's your Malort.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
The Chicago handshake.
Someone tried to tell me.
He did not give me a cigarette, though. It was just a Malort and a beer.
Someone tried to tell me, they're like, I'm from Chicago. I've never even heard of this. I was like, they're like, it's not a thing. I was like, yeah, it is.
You apparently either don't drink in Chicago or you left before you were old enough to drink.
Mm-hmm. And then they called their brother, and their brother's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, idiot?"
It absolutely is.
It absolutely is anything. And so we ended up last time. We bar hop a lot. So the last time we ended up at this bar that was like the hangout of Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy.
That's not what everyone does. For the record, anyone listening, not everyone goes to these bars.
And that's like we.
Hey, that was a fun bar. There was no one there.
Dude, we walked in.
No one there.
We walked in.
Shit. It was just us, the bartender, and the bartender's friend. That was
okay. So we walk in, and immediately the guy that's the one not patron is like shit faced, about to fall off the stool. And we're like, oh, that guy's wasted. So then we start talking to the bartender. I'm like, oh, she's wasted. And at first, she does not like us right away.
Unbelievable.
And then 45 minutes later, she's like, "You're Ming Chen. You're from Comic Book. I love you." And all of a sudden, we're like her friend. She gave me that Duff beer up there.
Ooh.
That I brought back.
I see it.
Yeah, brought back on the plane, and it's next to my Cubs baseball that was from the game I was at. They gave it to me. It was on the field, and they were like, "Do you want this?" I was like, "Yeah, of course."
I just noticed your Cubby hat.
I'm a Cubbies fan. Yeah.
So my brother-in-law Travis, they lived in Wrigleyville, so.
Can you do that now? I don't even think you can live there now.
No, they live in way out in the suburbs. They have kids now. Everything changes.
Schaumburg,
further out than Schaumburg.
Really? Yeah. They live in Gary.
Basically, no, the other direction. But they basically live in cornfields. Like
they went the wider direction.
Yeah. They almost live in the cornfields.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, it's weird drinking this double white. I haven't had it in a long time.
Well, actually, I'm gonna step out of camera for a second.
All right, you gonna get one? You didn't step out of camera. The camera's like, I follow you.
No,
let me switch it. I'll switch it for you. There you go.
Gotta love the smart camera. It's all, look at that light up there.
Yeah, like I gotta fix it. That's fine.
Over here, camera.
But so man, what was it like? So it had to have been really scary coming in, and now all of a sudden you're the show. You're the boss. You're not. I mean, you were kind of a boss before to like your team, right? But you weren't like the overall like guy, right?
I mean, we don't. So again, that's like, that's the past.
Yeah.
I've been okay. So all right. So I'm turning 50 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I got my first job in the industry. I was 19.
Is that what was that?
I've been in the industry. I've been doing this for 30 years, man.
Yeah.
Sudwork, Privet, Brauerei, Hoopsch in Davis, California.
Okay.
Classic lager brewery.
Oh, I love a good lager.
In 1995, my first gig.
And it's hard to make a lager, right?
Technically, yes. Technically, it's harder to make lager than ales, but we're splitting hairs now. Yeah, man.
Okay.
Been running breweries my entire life. It's the only thing I know how to do. It doesn't feel like too much.
No.
Just,
it feels
know what your customer wants and take care of your staff and your people and your team and your community. Like, it's pretty it's not that hard.
Right.
Don't be an asshole.
And you went from there. Was that the one before you did Sam Adams?
No.
No. I love the video on YouTube where you're like talking and you're like clearly had been drinking and you work for Sam Adams.
I mean, that's most videos. No, I lived, I grew up in California, moved to Boston in 2007. So I would have been early 30s.
How do you move from California to Boston? What a jump,
dude. I moved out there. I was tired of California. No shade to California. I grew up in San Diego. Will never move back there. Do not. I go there to visit family.
You don't like San Diego?
No, man. I don't even like going. If my family weren't there, I would not go there.
What's that place? There's a brewery there that I like. Half Door. Yeah.
No idea.
Okay.
just go see my cousins and my aunt and uncle.
So, come on, Chris. He just told you he doesn't like San Diego.
I don't even like that place, man.
You're like, I don't like the beach or good weather.
So I moved from Santa Barbara, California to Boston in like September, October, and they're having an Indian summer, and it's like amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this whole thing is like a ploy to keep people from moving here. And then seemingly overnight, it went to like 20 degrees, and I'd never experienced that kind of weather before.
Oh yeah.
And my blood was not thick enough. I was like, oh, dude, I've made a huge mistake. Like, this is terrible. But eventually I toughened up, and I lasted a number of years there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
what was it like working for Sam Adams?
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not there anymore, and for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not really cut out for corporate America, and I didn't want to
And that's like the
end up in an
corporate.
office.
It's like the corporate brewery.
I mean, in every sense, both good and bad, right? Like they had all the resources in the world too. I was the brewing manager for the R&D brewery in Boston for Boston Beer Company at the heyday.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd send me to Belgium for a week. Like,
Oh wow.
go study how to make this beer. Like,
Okay.
here's your like, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a budget, and I didn't have a cost center. Like, I didn't actually have to make any money. I just had to like make better beer. So it was fucking incredible. But eventually that ran its course. An insane project timelines.
I don't
stuff.
like of the big beer company. It was like, and like it's weird. People go, "Oh, Sam Adams is like a craft brewery." I'm like, yes and no.
They're still independent.
Yeah.
Jim Cook still owns 100% of the voting shares.
Yeah.
Jim Cook, I'm sure, is still very involved. He was still very involved when I was there.
Yeah.
Did
you see him very often?
I saw him all the fucking time.
Oh.
And great, a unique individual.
Yeah.
So fucking smart, dude. And so empathetic.
Yeah.
Empathic. I think empathic is what we say
okay.
now. It's great emotional intelligence. Great, just like he was like so on the spectrum, but like somehow could like also connect with people in a way that most couldn't.
Oh wow.
Really fucking incredible human.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nothing bad to say about them. It just ran its course, you know.
Oh, I mean, to have that in your pedigree is like up there, you know what I mean?
I learned, you know what, actually, and then I went and worked in Cincinnati for a few years as well, like a giant ass brewery, 24/7. The brewers are Teamsters, like it's a union staff brewery.
Really?
And all of my coworkers, it happened right after the AB buyout when Stella and whoever bought them.
The
Brazilians.
Oh, is Stella owned by the Brazilians?
Oh yeah.
Because that was like the biggest. That's the one who owns Anheuser-Busch now.
Yeah.
Anheuser-Busch,
AB.
Yeah.
But it's
AB InBev. So InBev is Brazilian.
Yeah.
So right after the InBev buyout of AB, a lot of the real brewers left. And a lot of them came to work for Sam Adams. And my God, man, I learned so much from those guys.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, the processes and systems they had, and like, just like, this is how we do it. I was like, that's really smart. Because I was a craft brewer. I didn't have processes and systems. I knew what good beer tasted like.
Sure.
But I didn't know how to make it the same way every time.
Consistency. And like I've talked about this 100,000 times on this show. It's about making a great beer, but consistently making that same great beer. And then the other hard thing, and I'm not a brewer and I don't know any of this stuff, but like being around all you guys, because I've been around all you guys throughout these years, the other hard thing is just transferring that great taste to a can.
Yeah.
Because beer is so fragile.
Yeah.
Sunlight kills it. Any kind of like dirtiness, any filth, any kind of like, whatever, but like being in a can changes the flavor.
Absolutely.
And so it's got to be one of those moments when you take a beer and you move it from the, being on tap to a can or a bottle.
Yeah.
That's why people are like, I don't know why the bottles are brown and green. Well, that's because of sunlight.
Bingo.
Yeah. And they're like, what about Miller High Life? I go,
no one cares about its flavor.
If you drink a Miller High Life, if you're not drinking for flavor, you're drinking for fucking get drunk.
I thought Coronas are supposed to taste like skunk.
So like I'd had Yingling because people had brought it.
Absolutely.
From the East Coast. And I was like, I don't get it. And they're like, oh no, I'm telling you, it's a great beer. So then I went to DC, And the problem I have with beer now is the distributorships they're all pretty much the same people everywhere.
There's a lot of consolidation within that business.
So when you go to any city, any major city, at the airport or the hotel, if you're at the airport or the hotel, if you're listening to this podcast, you're going to see Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite, Corona, Dos Equis, Blue Moon, and then one or two of the locals, if there are any, right?
Correct.
And so then I was in, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everywhere, because those are the top selling. Oh, Modelo has now come into the national picture. Because in like anytime you see a product that goes big, it's not because it's popular. It's because that's what the big distributorships want to push. Correct?
Mostly. There's some push and there's some pull.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's money behind it. It's like anything. If you want to become a famous musician, there has to be a lot of money. Either you have to cough up a lot of money to get to that level, or someone else has to.
So we can take a huge reach and pretend we know how music contracts are written with producers,
right?
Which I'm totally game to do. Or we can talk about how beer distributors work.
Yeah.
And the problem I think a lot of craft brewers face is that they take this really adversarial approach with their distributor, and they approach their distributor as an impediment to their market rather than like a partner. So I think what sets us apart is that we feel like we understand what our distributor wants pretty well, and we try to make them happy. And really, Smiley, this goes back to like the basic tenets of what makes a good business. Just fucking make your customers happy. Like, this isn't about you. This is about your customers. So
yeah,
true.
Check your ego at the door, figure out what your customer wants, and then try and figure out how to make that.
That's true. And I mean, because if people are asking for it, they'll put it out.
They don't want to come into my store and be like, why don't you carry this beer? Well, I think it's shit. Like, that's not how you run a business.
No.
I don't like it, so I decided.
Smiley, you're going to tell
it.
someone if you think it's shit.
I mean, I will. Well, I'll be like, I hope you enjoy it.
But if your customer, likes it,
we'll still carry it.
Yeah, you exist because your customer comes in your store every day or a couple days a week.
Yeah,
right. But
whether you like them or not,
right? But there are distributorships that'll come in and be like, "Hey, Smiley, we would like for you to put this in the front of the building."
So all economics are front push pull.
Yeah.
And if they want that, they have to bribe me. If they want that display area right up front, you have to make it worth my while.
It's funny, the other day my coworker sends me a video of this beer vending machine. He goes, "You ever see this before?" I was like, "Not only have I seen it, I have it in my studio." And he's like, "What? How did you get that?" I was like, "Smiley works at a beer store." And they want
what store do you work at, Smiley?
I work at the Bird of Paradise on Gibson.
Oh,
so we get.
I've heard a lot about that shop, but I haven't been there. No,
well, he probably wouldn't.
No, it's. I mean,
it's pretty far. It's not close to my house, but I have heard of it.
Yeah. We have an interesting customer base, because we got the Ridgecrest right there, and then we got the base right there, and then we got the Warzone.
There you go. I was like, you're leaving that one major area.
But those are our three clientele, so we have a very diverse selection.
Yeah,
because we have to cater to everyone.
That's why I have the blends, because of Smiley.
Smart man.
Yeah, but so all right, so definitely since the last time I've talked to you, you definitely have gone, because are you having the or were you always there, where you're now more of like the business side of it and less of the beer side of it? Because now it's the bottom line.
All right, so this is gonna turn some people off, but
it's fine.
Others it won't. No, I've always been about the business side. I have an MBA.
Son of a bitch.
I have my MBA from Xavier University.
Oh, wow.
I believe that businesses should be run responsibly.
Oh, sure.
You should know how to fucking read your financial statements. You should pay attention to what your customers want.
This is the guy that's like Java shot.
Here's the rant. Oh, I love drinking, but it doesn't mean that drinking gets in the way of running your business responsibly.
No, not at all.
Here's the rant that I wanted to. This is the only thing I came on wanting to say.
Are you serious? Okay, go for
it. I think that the death of craft brewing is that so many brewers got into the business to stroke their own egos and not to serve their customers. And they got it backwards, and they spent so much time like chasing these fucking gold medals from GABF as if that means anything. Like, I do not care what brewer X in Colorado or California thinks about our beer, because they don't buy it. They're not our customer. They can help us make our beer better, but I don't live to like, they don't make a difference in how we approach our business. Make beers your customer wants. And therefore, you like, once you like flip the script a little bit and you like start listening to your customer instead of yourself or your echo chamber, your life changes completely. Like, make your customers happy, make your community happy, exist to serve your fucking community, and everything will fall into place. And that's not, it doesn't take an MBA to figure that out. Just fucking check your ego at the door, be a good person, make beer that people want to buy, and it will all work out. That's my stump speech.
See, the thing about what you just said, it's not just beer. It's a lot of things.
Everything, man.
It's everything. Make a podcast that people want to watch. And it's funny you say that you brought up the GABF thing. Because like all the award stuff, like the worst thing about becoming an adult, and like especially getting into things that you love and all that, is seeing the truth of it.
100%.
And GABF. You want to be a brewery and you want to win a GABF medal? Find a category where it's very obscure, start making a beer, put it in there, right?
Oh, not only that, but make a special version of it just for competition. Take the beer that you always make for that category and then amp it up by 150%.
Yeah.
So that it judges well, so that it perceives well on the table. It's a joke, dude.
It's a joke. It's a joke. But then you roll back and you're like, we won a gold medal, and it's all how you know, Smiley and I are part of a podcast that won 5 best local podcasts 5 times. 5 times Albuquerque.
These rules do not apply to podcast judging competitions.
Well, no. Here's the thing. There was never a category.
There wasn't a category.
There was never a category for best local podcast. We would go and write it in to the Alibi, and we would have all our friends vote.
I voted for you.
Yeah, we would have you vote,
of course,
and we won. And like now, there's like the New Mexico Entertainment Awards, and they're like, in order to be a part of this, they sent me multiple messages. Hey, we would like for you to be on this ballot, but you need to pay money to be on this ballot. So we were getting votes. Well, I wasn't going to pay the money because it's all horse shit. And it, as everything is.
And then plus we'd have to go to some awards show.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate those.
And I will go. But like my thing is like, this is all a farce, and I'm only going to call it out. And I think it's ridiculous. And then when we didn't get on the ballot, everybody's like, I cannot believe you didn't make it on the ballot. And I'm like, we didn't. And I'll tell them, because we didn't pay. And then they're like, you have to pay? I'm like, yes. If you want to win a New Mexico Grammy or New Mexico Music Awards, the big, the Grammy or whatever it is, you have to pay. If you want to win a Grammy, you want to win an Academy Award, you want to win
there's an application fee.
There's an application fee, and it's very specific. The Signal Awards. The Signal Awards are the world podcasting awards thing. To turn in a nomination to be like thought about, it's like $800 and something. I'm not doing that.
So do you know how the GABF? Do you know how it's structured?
I have no idea.
It's silly. So we have style categories.
Yeah.
And within the style category, it's very narrowly defined as to how a beer would fit into the style.
Right.
And the winner is the person or the beer or the brewery that most closely replicates the exact specifications of this beer style.
Right.
Like a dog show.
So we have intentionally cornered ourselves into who is the best copycat.
Right.
It's fucking insane. Like, okay, so there's like classic German Pilsner. We're not in fucking Germany.
Right.
We live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Why the fuck would I care what someone in Munich, Germany wants to drink. They're not my customer. But yet we give each other awards. It's this huge circle jerk thing.
Yeah, it's big
We
time.
give each other awards for who most closely replicates their favorite beer they had the last time they were in Munich for German Helles. And it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's so stupid. Why don't we blow that all away? And why don't we start figuring out what our customers want?
Right.
And then make that, and then not give each other copycat awards for.
Well,
Okay, I'll stop.
in like,
I did not realize that.
oh
It's-
yeah,
it's
I knew
silly.
it.
It's
Wow.
so
The-
silly.
so the thing
it
for
is,
me,
it is done like a dog show. You're just like,
Yeah.
how close to
Oh, yeah.
this breed's perfection
Boom.
can you get it?
Yes.
yeah, and like to the thing, and it's all for public manipulation, because the public will believe like anything they glance at. So like if you walk into a place, like you walk in here and you see a little thing up there in the corner that says voted best local podcast, you go, well, these guys must be the best.
2017
You-
winner.
You don't even know like how we did it. Like you don't know what how we manipulated it and did it, but that's doesn't matter. You just you immediately see that thing on the wall up there, and then you go, oh, they must be really good immediately, and it's great for a resume. When I would walk into a meeting and people would be like, so tell us about your show, I would go, well, we're 5 times voted the best local podcast, and immediately they go, oh,
I tell people that when I introduce them to you.
yeah, like this guy is a champion, a real champion. But like to me, like, so whenever I hear someone has won something and they go off that laurel, immediately I go, okay. But if they're like, hey, I've been doing this for like 10 years, or like, if I've been around for 16 years, Marble's been around 16 years, that to me tells me a lot more. That tells me that not only were you able to, or whoever was able to sustain, pay the lights, pay the mortgage, pay the gas, pay the whatever, pay the employees, all these things for 16 years, that's a little bit more impressive to me. Because that's what it is. And if you don't have the customer base, you have all the fucking awards you want. But if ain't no one in there drinking it, you're gonna have them in a box in a storage shed, right?
Standing out in the forest screaming to no one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay. So I want to say, just in case any of my employees hear this, we won an award this year at the World Beer Cup.
Yeah.
Okay. Silver medal for this beer that we make called Thunder in Dortmunder.
Okay.
Okay. Geeky already, right?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Dortmunder? Dortmunder is a city in Germany.
Yep.
And Dortmund style export is a very specific style of beer.
Oh yeah.
How
Germany's
many
crazy.
people know what Dortmund export is?
No one does.
No one.
The people in Dortmund. Maybe.
Actually, this beer is really good. It's one of my favorite beers that we make, but that's not the point. The point, like the fact that it continues to win awards, means that beer is great. But the flip side is breweries used to hang their hats on this and say, like, we're an award-winning brewery. We make the best Dortmunder style export in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Who gives a shit, man? Like,
yeah,
is it good? Can I drink it? Does it taste great? Like, will I enjoy it tomorrow?
Maybe.
It's the circle jerk thing. We're talking to the wrong community.
Absolutely.
We're talking to each other and ourselves.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you walked into a podcast convention, we're like, hey, fellow podcasters, I'm the best here, and I just like you all to know that.
I wouldn't.
But you had no listeners.
I don't want to hang out with those people.
No, I don't want to hang out with brewers either.
Please acknowledge my my awards, please. Thank you.
No. Oh, you know what? I'm going to tease that for the second hour. I have an announcement. I forgot about this. I have an announcement for the second hour for me.
All right.
For me.
Did you win an award?
No.
Oh,
I got asked to do something, and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah!"
I'll see, even better than awards.
Yeah,
Experiences are much better than awards.
They are.
Agreed.
But we're gonna take a little break with Bert Boyce from Marble Brewing. We'll be back here in a little while. I need to add you guys to we do ads at the break, and I'm gonna add you guys in because you know why? I'm gonna tell you why.
Please do.
So you guys are my friends, man.
I've been your friend for a long time, man.
A long fucking time. And I really don't know if you understand like how beaming I was when I saw that announcement. I was so happy for you. I was so happy for you. I was like, I'm getting a little tear right now. I was like, yes, like
it's like we did it. Like
two of my favorite. Yes,
the working class did it. Like we did something.
Yes, that's exactly right. I want you to know this, man. Like, I was like, he's one of us. And like, he deserves this. If anybody on this fucking planet should run this amazing place that we all need to like turn into the take it back and turn it back into the most badass place it was, and then take it up another level. These are the guys, man. You and Jarrett, I was like, yes. And it was so hilarious because like I've gotten to a certain level now where people will be like, hey, have you heard the news about that? And like they come in and like I'm at work and they're like, so Chris, did you hear Marble Brewing got sold? I'm like, I did. I'm like, what do you think of that? I'm like, well, they're two of my friends, and so I'm absolutely excited. And they're like, what do you think is going to happen? I was like, well, let me tell you what's going to happen. These dudes are going to kick the shit out of this because those two guys. I said you have the best brewer in the state. And I said, you have the guy that was behind the marketing campaigns, boom, of like some of the biggest beers that we've ever had here. I was like, it's going to be insane. I'm not fucking with you and like saying this shit because you're here. Literally what I said. I was like, I'm excited for it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Craft beer is not dead. We're just like kind of refiguring out how we do things.
Beer with Billy. There's a review channel called Beer with Billy. He's watching. He says, cheers.
Cheers, Billy.
I should have had him come in. He could have came in. He's a big fan. He and I both were at your anniversary show. You were out of town.
I was. That was some unfortunate timing.
Yeah. But we're gonna take a break. We'll come back with Bert. I have to clear my eyes. But yeah. So do you guys have anything coming up you guys want to promote at all? I know I'm kind of catching you off guard here.
No, I'm not. I'm not good at that.
I mean, if you guys want to go to Marble Brewing, there's Marble downtown, which is the flagship, right?
Absolutely.
Then, like, I've got a special new love for Marble Heights. Do you guys still brew there?
We do, absolutely.
Yeah, Marble Heights, and I think that was partially because there was a loophole that, like, you had to have so many. You can only have so many tasting rooms, right?
We are well south of that, but yes, there are some
Yeah.
regs about how many tap rooms per brewery you can have.
And so I think whenever back in the day, they were like, well, if we also brew there, it's not considered a tasting room, right? I think that's why they did that.
Yes.
But it's a cool location, too. It's actually really cool.
I love that spot, yeah.
I haven't been to the West. The last time I was at the West Side, it was like kind of small. And then now I heard it's just massive. So there are three, like there is no part of Albuquerque where you are not close to a brewery. Rio Rancho. No one cares about you.
Well, I don't know the West Side very well, but I do know that the location of the West Side Brewery or the West Side Tap Room is basically on the border of Rio Rancho.
I was kidding. We think Rio Rancho is okay.
I like that. Just
so-
pull it back a little bit. It's okay.
You walk that one back,
Yeah.
man.
Billy, I had many memories of the West Side location. But yeah, it was really funny because I remember when that location opened, it was like tiny. And then they were like, we're actually expanding. And then like the next time I talked to somebody, I was like, yeah, I heard they expanded. They're like, yeah, they're expanding for the third time. I was like, Jesus. Like, yeah. There was a time when it was like, printing money, like making beer. It just seemed,
Yeah, those days are over, but we have to get smarter now,
They are, and we'll get into that in this next hour because I kind of have some really interesting things about that to talk about. But
I think that's what's going to be happening with the weed stores here in a little bit.
oh
yeah, totally.
It's
They're like, oh no, we're gonna have to figure out actually how to do this.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. The weed stores,
Yeah.
like the weed business went full circle faster than craft breweries did, but the story's already been written.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not see what just happened?
And I loved was that like the idea and the dream that we're like it's going to be all owned locally. No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
I don't know where. I don't even smoke weed, but and I don't know where Verdes is from, but I know that they're yeah,
they've all come in, got bought out, and it's all corporations don't. You're not beating them. It's not happening. And if one gets big enough locally, then they become the core. It's how it goes. But Smiley, you got anything going on?
I don't have anything coming up. No, I don't.
Next Saturday, you do have something coming up. Next Saturday, I have Almost AAA Cabaret. It's one of my favorite things that I love doing on the planet. It is just amazing. And I get to judge people. Who doesn't want to judge people? I do.
I love cabaret.
When I say cabaret, people are like, they think of a thing. It's a talent show.
Absolutely.
So people come in and they're like either singing or dancing, and I get to go A, B, C, or D, and then I get to tell them what I think of them, in a good way. Don't
constructive, of course.
So that's happening.
Have you guys ever had a D on that show?
I gave a C and I got booed.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't.
I got booed, and this will be the Pride edition of Alma's AAA Cabaret. Alma is a drag queen.
Where's it taking place?
It's at the Box Theater.
Where's the Box Theater?
It's on this guy, Second and Gold. It's second Saturdays because there's first Fridays, now there's second Saturdays, and it's on Comedy Corner, Second and Gold. Go to the Box Theater's website and you can buy tickets. It's super fun. It sells out. It's great. Big deal. I get to be right in front of the audience. I get announced. I get to come out. I get to perform. It's so great. Now, where can you see Smiley and Chris at? We have Comic Palooza coming up in Houston, Texas.
That is the week after next.
June 20th through the 22nd. Now, I don't know. There's something happening that I don't know. There may or may not be something happening with this. And there is something I know that's going to happen.
Do tell.
So
this was not in my email.
Smiley and I are, you don't know this yet.
Okay.
Smiley and I are leaving that Wednesday. I'm getting off work and we're going to get in the car and we're going to start driving.
To Houston?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man.
I've never been to Austin.
Stop in Austin.
We're going to spend a night in Austin.
Smart.
Now, part of that's because I've never been to Austin, and part of it's because I'm not real happy with how the airlines have been running recently, and I'd like for it to settle down a little bit before I get on the plane again.
That does not seem like a 10-drink minimum.
I flew in February and
content.
I flew in February and 2 people barfed on the plane, and it was so violent that I almost rented a car in Phoenix and drove all the way 6 hours home. But fine. But this will be no, that's the thing. We're going to do content on the way.
No coincidence at all.
Now
that he just got a new car.
It may or may we may not be taking that car.
Oh,
you guys are recording as you drive?
Maybe.
Sick.
But it may not.
I won't listen, but I would if I was.
May or may not.
I might
be
actually.
Just Smiley and I. May or may not be just Smiley.
Oh.
So Ming Chen might fly into Albuquerque.
Road trip with
and he might road trip with us to Houston, Texas. Might. I'm not saying is going to happen.
Oh,
now
damn.
What is going to happen?
I gotta pack my party bag.
I did Comic Palooza 2 years ago, and I only got to podcast from there, but I got to hang out and I got to do media stuff. Smiley has his first media badge.
I got my first media badge for this one.
Yeah, he doesn't have to pay to get in. He's got a media badge.
I don't have to convince people that I'm not just a guest. Why are you telling us what to do? No, seriously, I'm working here.
I'm just working here. I have been asked, because of my pedigree now with doing panels, to be the moderator for Spike Spencer, who is a voice actor from Robotech, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. And that is on the Sunday night of Comic Palooza. I think it's around 5:00. But yeah. And it's my foray. Comic Palooza. So there's big Comic Cons in the world now. Comic Cons are big.
I've heard. Yeah.
The Albuquerque one, I think they said, what was it, that Saturday? There was 25,000 people. It's big. It's becoming very big. So
they're pushing that thing into capacity. Next year they're gonna have to expand to the other side.
No, not next year. This month.
This month?
They're doing the Duke City one, which I'm also a part of.
Oh shit! I didn't know about that.
I may or may not be doing Andy's Circus.
Really?
Yep. I think that's the one that they asked me this time. They didn't come and give me the list. They were like, "Can you do Andy's Circus?" And I was like, "Yes."
He's an actor, right?
He's Gollum.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's in a lot of other stuff, so much stuff.
I did Lord of the Rings. I did Sean Astin, Elijah Wood, and I can't think of the guy's name that played Gimli. I did those guys here, and people were blown away. So
But you had them in here?
no, I did the panel in front of like 4,000
Comic-Con?
people. I did it like 4,000 in front of 4,000 people.
I'm going to pretend they were sitting on this couch.
they were
though.
here on this couch. So, well, you're okay. We had Mailing Armijo here last time, and it was she's running for mayor. So, you're the mayor of Marble, and she's going to be maybe the mayor of Albuquerque.
And
maybe.
you're the mayor of downtown. So
That's right. So, I'm going to do this. So of the Comic-Cons, the big ones are like San Diego,
Yep.
New York, Dragon Con in Atlanta, and Comic Palooza in Houston. The Comic Palooza in Houston is the largest in Texas.
That checks out.
It's like 3 stories, a football field each. And when they were like, hey, can you do this panel? Like, this is, I'm not saying Spike Spencer's nothing to snuff at, but it's, I kind of feel like it's a trial run that like next year they'll be like, hey, will you do, whoever, the cast of Marvel Avengers, like that stuff's coming down the line. It's like, whoa. Like they hit me up and they're like, hey, we have a slot. Would you be able to do this? And I was like, yes.
Can you do me a favor while you're in Houston?
Yeah.
Viet Cajun is like the most up and coming fusion cuisine on the planet right now.
Viet Cajun.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a huge Vietnamese population
Okay.
in Houston.
I'm liking what you're saying.
I'm loving all of this.
And then so post Katrina,
Yeah.
a lot of New Orleans refugees and moved to Houston as an interim and then stayed there.
Oh wow.
So there's a huge Vietnamese Cajun fusion cuisine happening in Houston. It's the one reason why I want to go to Houston.
Love it.
Please,
Dude, that place.
please go to at least one strip mall Viet Cajun restaurant
Okay.
and let me know how it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
have you been to
we will
Houston?
for sure?
Have you
No,
been
I've
there?
never been.
Oh, it's a he's never been, I don't think.
I've been out there. That's where they do the
Okay.
Native American markets.
Oh,
I used to do all my dance stuff out there.
It's a cool place.
It's huge.
I don't
and the
like
conventions
huge,
are
right?
I'm not a
huge.
huge I'm not a huge Texas guy.
We're New Mexican.
I love El Paso. And then Houston, like I was like, I didn't know because I'd only been to the airport. And when I went 2 years ago, and I tried to go last year, and my gallbladder was like, I'm dying. I'm out. And I didn't get to go. But I'm so stoked to go to Comic Palooza. I'm not even, But we might be driving with Ming. I bought us special microphones for the trip.
No, they
And then
clip
we-
onto your.
the clip-ons.
Yeah, we have the Rode ones that'll clip on, and we have a stand that I could put a phone on, and we could just throw it somewhere and then start broadcasting live and just be like, we're live. Smiley and I are outside. We're like in Fredericksburg, Texas, wherever, Just want to fuck it.
I should give you offline some recommendations in the Austin area.
Yes,
like
yes.
that.
I haven't been there
Yeah.
since my brother lived there. So
It-
it's been
it-
years.
I was just there a couple weeks ago.
If Ming doesn't go with us, that'd be great.
Okay.
Ming goes with us. We're not. He will not. He will.
Does he not stop?
Oh,
No. Oh
Does
no.
he
No.
stop only to pee or something?
Oh
No,
no, the opposite.
He just knows. He already knows all the places.
He will have an itinerary.
He has an
Like,
itinerary
We're going
ready.
to go here and then here, and then and if we have time, we'll go check out this place.
Yeah, like when I went to Chicago, everybody's like, "You need to go," and I'm like, "Nope, just stop." He already knows where we're going, and
I'm
it's
but a servant.
no, but it's great. It's like I'm kind of like probably you would like this, where you just kind of go and you're like, "Where are we going?" They're like, here, and you're like, "Okay," and then you walk in and you're like, "Well, this place is amazing," and then he's like, Ming will be like, "We're there for like an hour," and then he's like, "Hey, we're gonna bounce over to whatever," and you're like, "Okay," and then you get to that place and you're like, well, this place is amazing, and you just keep saying that until it's like 4 a.m. It's
I do like that. I do hate being in charge of planning.
yes,
So,
yes,
all right.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Heard.
if
yes.
Ming is there,
Yeah.
you're like, no, I just have to.
Yeah.
I just have to keep up.
Well, the first time he went to El
Your life is
Paso.
in your hands, dude.
The first time I did the El Paso Comic Con, he's like, "Hey, you want to go down to El Paso with me and do this Comic Con?" And I was like, "Sure." He's like, "I'll fly into Albuquerque and we'll go down." And I'm like, "Have you ever been there?" And he's like, "No." And as we're driving down, he has his phone open and he's like mapping out our itinerary and I don't know how he's doing this. And then we get down there and we go to all the coolest places I've ever been. And when Smiley and I went back, I just pretty much mimicked that fucking same thing. And it was great.
So
Super
people
fun.
know where to go.
Yeah. They just know how to look up in a city, not the tourist, but the local.
He's got it down.
He's got it down. And like it's funny because like when people are like, hey, I'm moving to this place or that place, I'll be like, oh, hold on. And I'll message him. I'll be all, hey, tell me about Omaha. And he'll be like, Omaha, you want to go to this place, this place, and this place? And like, he knows, like, he's like, king. And I keep telling him, like, dude, you need to start filming a travel show for like YouTube.
Right.
You would be more famous, you know. But anyway, sorry. But that's where we're all going to be. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with that. We are 10 drink minimum. I have no idea. So I'm running the music off of StreamYard, and I have no fucking idea what's happening here. I don't know. This is Chris. I'm your host, and fuck corporate America, apparently. StreamYard, it's really cool. StreamYard was this like, what I love about StreamYard is they were not corporate America. They were like these two guys, like these two software guys from Canada. And during the pandemic, we had to like scramble and figure out what we were doing because we were like, oh shit, we're podcasters and we can't interview people because no one could come to your house. And these two guys out of Canada were like, well, let's create like fuck Zoom and let's create, something. And they created StreamYard. That's actually the story. And I remember like I was talking to Ming and Ming's like, hey, are you still using Zoom? And I was like, yeah, it sucks. I hate it. I hate, interviewing people that way. I hate having my co-hosts on Zoom. And he's like, dude, there's this thing called StreamYard. And I was like probably one of the first 5% of the people probably using StreamYard to ever start with them,
I've never heard of them, but
it's who we're like streaming with right now. And overall, I 100%, and they sold it. I think those two guys sold it. And but the company always like evolves it. It's kind of interesting. And it's like today I turned it on and it was like, here's all the new things you can do. It's like, oh fuck yeah. That voice you heard earlier. First of all, this show is sponsored by Topo Chico. And new announcement, if you're new to this broadcast right now, it's going to be double sponsored. It's going to be sponsored by I fucked the camera up. Hold on, let's get that fixed real quick before we announce that. So I don't want to mess that up.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. The camera, like when you're not on it, it's like, I don't know what to do. There we go.
Getting closer.
There we are.
There we go.
We are announcing now that we're going to be dual sponsored. We're going to, somewhere, say what, maybe 6 months from now, maybe.
Honestly, as soon as you can get the kegerator going.
Okay, well then that's going to come up as soon as we get
I guess.
As soon as we get a kegerator going, we're going to have a beer sponsor and a Topo Chico. So we're going to be Marble Brewing.
For that sort of thing.
Yeah. And because people can have beer, they can have seltzer, they can come in here, man. We're gonna be a full-on bar podcast.
I love it.
It's funny because like people, everything we do, people copy. So how are they gonna copy that? You know what I mean? Like we were talking earlier about awards things.
Well, we're just bringing the bar up a little bit for them. That's all.
We're just
if they want to keep up with us, maybe you gotta try a little harder.
We had this guy, so people are probably gonna reach out to you and be like, "Hey, will you be on my show?" Now it'll happen because it happened like we did one last time, and like someone else has already like interviewed that person, and I was like, "All right."
I do a podcast every 5 years, and it's 10 drink minimum, and that's pretty much my my circuit.
You're not a guy that likes to be in the spotlight.
Absolutely not.
No. I remember
I'm only here because I'm your friend, dude.
I know, and I love you for that. Like I love. Here's what I like is like when we've probably done this. I think this is like a third or fourth time.
I think it's our third time, yeah.
And it's probably our most intimate, and like. I think we've just kind of, over the years, like, first of all, here's the big problem. We're men. We're in our 50s, nearly.
Yeah.
Smiley's in his 40s. And we don't really.
I know. Just started my 40s. I'm like, 40s are the shit.
Yeah. But like, we don't talk about how much we love each other enough. I mean, not without strong drink, But like, you're one of those dudes when I see you at a show, I'm like, fuck yeah. I love that guy so much.
I went to your 50th birthday party.
You did, yeah. Will you turn that mic straight up? There you go. Perfect.
How's that?
Yeah, perfect.
Check.
Yeah, even better. You were there, and that's when I saw you, and I hadn't seen you since you guys made the announcement.
Yep.
I reached out to you, and I was like, I want this to be as genuine as possible. I want him to know that like I am like, I'm. This is so. like I feel like when you guys took that over, I was like, we all won. We won. Like we the you know, yeah, the blue collar, the workers, the non, you know, like you're going to take this in the direction we would like, you know. And if you don't, you're going to take it in a direction that we're like, we don't know if we want to go there. And you're like, well, you do. And then you're like, we're like, oh, you know what? We do like that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes like there's like you can get like stuck in what you think you like, and then someone's like, well, what about this though? It's cool. And you're like, and then you try it and you're like, oh, that is cool. So I think you're that guy that you're and with that I want to kind of transition a little. What are the trends right now in beer?
Oh,
What are people doing? Because like there was a while there, it was like I remember like, well, first of all, IPAs were fucking, come on, man. Can we move on a little? Let's keep them. But I walk into a brewery now and it's like you look at the menu, there's 7 IPAs.
Yep.
One's a West Coast, one's a hazy, one has peaches in it because that's the one they fucked up and they had to like add hops to it and turn it into an IPA because they didn't want to dump it all down the drain, right? Then there's a Kolsch, a Mexican lager, and a cider. Those are your options when you walk into a brewery right now. Am I wrong on that?
You're close. You're not wrong.
Are sours
well,
not in anymore?
Barely.
No, then
Barely. Like if you see a sour, first of all, if you see a wheat or you see a sour, you're like, whoa, I haven't seen a wheat in years. And I was in San Diego, of all places, in February, and I was like, you have a wheat? And I got so excited. What are we waiting on the horizon? What's coming? What are people doing? What are people excited about? What are you excited about?
I mean, what I'm excited about and what the next generation is excited about is probably 2 different things.
And that's fine.
It's totally
Yeah.
fine. I don't get to gatekeep what people like.
No.
None of us get to gatekeep.
And I love that
what
you
people
feel
like.
that way. I love that you feel that way.
I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah.
We are not. I don't feel like an artist. I feel like at best an artisan. But an artisan out of touch with their community is a really bad artisan.
Yeah.
I think our job is, to figure out what the next generation. Okay, so here's where we are as people who like to hang out and drink, right? This podcast is called 10 Drink Minimum. We like to hang out in bars. We're old dudes that like to hang out in bars, and hopefully we will stay relevant forever because we like people. And that's the most important part of all of this.
Yes.
Just liking people and belonging to a society and
right.
not taking that for granted. And so if you approach it from that lens, the kids are like functional beverages,
Right.
micro dosing. They don't drink that much. They grew. So here where we are, those kids, I should stop saying kids. The 21-year-olds right now,
Those are kids.
they grew up during COVID.
Right.
Their social interaction is based on Zoom training, like virtual meetups. And so we
what is the
as a
we're sponsored by Topo Chico. They sent us, and I don't know if this ever went into production. They sent us the test project. So do you know what a Borg is?
No, I don't.
Other than Star Trek, it's a binge only rage gallon.
Oh yeah, that came out during COVID because no one wanted to.
They didn't want to interact with each other.
They didn't want to share.
kids-
No one shared beverages, so everyone had their own.
So the kids would bring a 2-liter, the milk gallon,
A milk gallon
and they would
This is news to me.
wash it out, and they would like fill it full
or
of
a
like
water gallon, whatever.
water gallon, and fill it full of like hard liquor and Kool-Aid or
powdered drink.
powdered drink.
Powdered
And then
energy
they would
drinks
just
were
drink it
usually-
until they fucking blacked out. And so Topo Chico made their version of that.
I think it was called Happy Thursdays.
Yeah. And they sent it to us into us like immediately, like, because we're going to tell you the truth. Do we love this? Yes. Did we like that? Not so much. It's not our cup of tea. It was very like
It was made for a different
Boone's
market.
Farm. It was Boone's Farmy.
Mm-hmm.
So Smiley, you work at a liquor store.
Yes.
Chris, you are the mayor of downtown.
Correct.
I run a brewery.
Yeah.
We all rely on social interaction.
Yeah.
That's the fabric that connects all of us.
Yes.
And kids nowadays, they don't know the rules. They don't know how
No.
to hang out. And just be fucking normal and just like be yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And I think if what any of us can do as we get older and also still want to hang out is like help the younger generation understand
Right.
what it's like to just chill, hang out, be yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just
Yeah.
please come hang out. We're not that bad.
No.
We're pretty welcoming, I think.
And like as a person who owns like not only a brewery, you own like three, basically. You own
Three
three
tap
tap rooms, and that's based. I mean, the success of those is based on social interaction.
The social fabric, man.
Like have you ever watched Clarkson's Farm?
I have not. No, I don't watch much TV.
I would very much suggest it for you. Do you know who Jeremy Clarkson is?
No,
He was one of the hosts on Top Gear.
don't know what that is.
Top Gear was this British show about car racing, and like they took car racing and they like brought it to the masses. Like they would bring in celebrities and like have them race. Like every episode, like for the season, they would be like, "We're gonna have this this Toyota Camry." And every celebrity that comes on the show, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, whatever, they're going to race it around the track, and then we're going to put their times up on the wall. Whoever's the fastest, and like they brought it to the masses, right? So when one of the guys, Jeremy Clarkson's like super big, right? And one of the things he did with his money is he bought a farm in Britain.
Okay.
And when his farmer that was farming all this farm for him, that he was basically probably using as a tax write-off, decided to retire, he was like, I will become a farmer in my 60s, and then I will have Netflix or Amazon film it. And it is amazing because it has shined more light on the farming, like small farms. So then in the newest season, because like his big thing is he's like really trying to like push to become this like sustainable farm. And then like he tried to open a restaurant where all the food was from the farms in the area.
I like it.
And then in the 4th season, he decided to buy a pub.
I like that too.
And like now, like the big thing is he's trying to show what it's like to be a small business owner and own this pub, and like what it costs. And then like at the end of the season, they'll be like, well, here's how much profit you made. And like the first season, they were like, your profit was $3.
Because that's a farm.
Yeah. And he was like,
And the pub.
and he was like, if I was a normal person, I would be bankrupt. And it has shined all this light on it. And it's pushing like, and what I love about it is like, it's super popular on Amazon, is it's showing people, it's like, and the big thing with the pub was like how many English pubs are going under due to lack of like social interaction.
Yeah. Thank God we're not in England right now.
Well, but we're in America, which has got to be the same kind of deal where like
trends are similar, not as bad. The English laws are really fucked up.
Yeah.
So their situation's worse than ours, but similar.
Yeah. One thing I read though that was really interesting to me is there's this growing trend among high school students of ditching, and it's becoming more and more popular, ditching your cell phone, like your smartphone.
I love that.
For a dumb phone. Like it's becoming a thing. It's like went from like this one high school, it became really popular. And then now it's at like 4 or 5 in like one area of the United States. And I was like, oh, interesting.
I love that. When we were in high school, we were never worried that someone was going to take pictures of what we did.
No shit, no.
Or and we didn't even know what post online meant, but like
no.
It didn't exist. We lived in a vacuum.
Yeah.
It was almost like an Austin Powers, like growing up in a consequence-free environment. But
well,
can you imagine?
In good ways and bad, but yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being like a teenager now? Like everything is immediately online. Every terrible decision you make, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Back in the day, I mean, it was we all took photos, but you had the original or you had the double. There was only ever 2 photos of that was around.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you had to wait for those pictures. You had to wait for them to come back out. Many times people left their camera laying around, and I picked up the camera.
Oh come on, man. Like Walgreens was like an hour. You could drop off your camera and come back in an hour.
Not for the pictures I picked up and took their camera and used for. Like if there was cameras in college, For me, it would have been bad. Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
really bad. I'm not
real
gonna
bad.
lie. Yeah.
Real bad.
But like, and you were in college, high school. You probably had what kind of car did you have when you were in high school?
I had a Chevy S10 Blazer with
Oh,
really black tinted windows.
wait a minute. What kind of speakers do you have?
I had eventually I had like a sick JBL like 10-inch
Yeah.
box in the back.
Yeah,
It was loud as fuck.
that was like the weirdest shit. Like how we were like so into that. Now, like if someone came up to you and they're like, "Bert, someone broke into my car and stole the stereo," you'd be like, "What?" Like they did? Like
That's not a thing.
eh? All right.
Why? Was it a dare?
Yeah, and I love what I love about like the MacGruber TV show is like in MacGruber he's driving a Miata and he pulls this Blaupunk stereo out and he carries it around like he uses it to fight sometimes.
Yeah, you would like you'd flip the lever and pull the whole deck out and put it in your backpack.
And those are amazing times because like people are like, I got a new stereo. You're like, bring it out, let's see it. Bring it over. I want to check it out.
Oh,
Pioneer, huh?
And then you had like a zip up thing that had like 40 CDs in it. You're like, and they were all like burned. Like,
well, you have that.
Oh, actually, no, that was high school's predated burned CDs.
You
for
had
me,
to have
so-
the actual CDs.
Yeah, I had
there.
the
actual CDs.
hundreds of dollars worth
and then-
of media. And
I actually had I had tapes in
Yeah.
my like high school. I was still tapes.
Well, you had that.
I had two cases of tapes in high
I
school. In
had
my truck.
tapes. I had tapes too. But like once you got to the CD level where you had the big notebook of CDs,
Yeah.
you had the also you had the extra. You had because you were at Hastings and you're like, I do have extra money. I should buy that. You had the thing that went on your visor that you had the
Oh.
ones you were currently listening to.
Oh, I
like,
didn't.
slid.
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't have
that.
those? You know what I'm
No.
talking about, right? They were
I
slid
know.
in and you
Your
just
top
grab it.
five.
Yeah. You're all, you're like, yeah, man, you guys heard of the Nirvana band? Like, you know what I mean? You're like, yeah.
In Utero just came out.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the other thing that's kind of nuts too, is like streaming is starting to, they're starting to see this trend where people are dropping streaming platforms and they're starting to go on Amazon and buy the hard copy of media.
oh, I've been doing that for years, man.
You have, but like the masses are doing it a little bit.
They dropped off. They're all streaming is going to be forever, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no.
Because there's movies you can't find, or like they're like we're not going to put that on a streaming because we don't want to pay the licensing fee.
Yeah.
Of that. And so like a weird little bit of it is like maybe there's this nostalgia that could come back a little.
Well, and there's some low key like
Yeah.
censoring there too. Like some people just won't make more of those movies.
Mhm.
Everything comes full circle. I
Yeah.
do believe that. Like we will eventually get back to physical media and owning and feeling like I can listen to this whenever I want to.
I'm gonna be walking around with a pager again.
I hope that never happens. I never did that. That never happened in my life. I never had a two-way. I never had a pager.
I had no reason to.
Nobody. Yeah.
I had a pager.
Yeah.
I was a free range child. So at any point in time I could be anywhere in Albuquerque, and
Sold drugs.
it was good for my mom to be able to page me. And that's been, there was
Yeah.
payphones. You could just go, well, there's a payphone right there. Stop. I gotta call my mom.
Wow. Well, and it's crazy because like one of the things that I ran into is like I like car racing. As the older I get, the more I'm like into this car racing thing, right? And I have a racing sim back there, and in the studio behind me, it's
It's pretty fun.
it's pretty cool. Like I can do virtual reality,
Sounds fun.
all that shit, And but I had always been on the lookout of like, why is there no local car racing here? Well, first of all, nationwide car racing is like on the decline, and like racetracks are shutting down. Not in Albuquerque. Some guy bought the racetrack here, reopened. So I went last Saturday. Sukiya circuit. I bought a shirt, and I didn't know what to expect. And I asked my friend, I was like, will you go with me? I don't know how cool this is. I mean, it could be shit. It's like $15, right? Let me tell you how cool this is. You drive out there. It's not far. It's like 30 minutes, maybe. It's out there by the prison.
Yeah, west side.
Yeah. And you drive out there, and good parking. It's like $15. You can bring your own food. And I'm sure if you are smart and not stupid, you could probably pour things in a cup and be fine.
Probably.
But they also had a concession stand. But we go out there for these asphalt racing because they have an asphalt track and they have a dirt track, and they do different events different nights. So I was like, well, what's going to happen here? Well, we saw multiple cars race throughout the night, right? They did Bandolero racing. And I had to look this up before it ever happened. Bandolero racing is like little cars for kids. So like they only had 2 because I guess there was a big crash in somewhere in Colorado the week before, and so a lot of the cars couldn't come. But they had 2 cars, and it was like a 10-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl, and they're in like a little like stock car that has like 40 horsepower, and they race around the track.
Is this the dirt track or
no? It's asphalt.
Okay.
And full throttle, right? And like the little boy was pretty aggressive, and he threw the girl around a little bit, and but like when they get done, like the top opens up and they like lift him out, and the little boy's in his like full racing suit, and he's like, I just want to thank my sponsors, Aunt Carol and Uncle John, and I was like, this is the best shit ever, right? And finally, like after they raced like 3 times, they talked to the little girl, and she's like, I just love to race cars. And I was like, this is amazing, right? So then they did what's called Legends. And Legends, the best I can explain it, it's like 140 horsepower, I think. I want to say maybe I'm wrong on that. But it looks like a coupe, an old like Deuce coupe car, like the ZZ Top car.
Uh-huh.
And they fucking race those around the track at, 100 miles an hour. And they were cool as shit, right? And they were cool to watch. And there was a guy from Rio Rancho, and of course we were all like, I was like, I don't want to root for Rio Rancho, but he's the only local guy, so I rooted for him. And he won. He beat everybody's ass. It was cool as shit. It was cool to watch.
My neighbor has a purple beat up 3. I think it's a Z.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes it out to that track.
Mm.
And he it's
yeah. They do like a testing. Like you can do.
No, I think he well, actually, I don't know what the race circuit looks like, but
it's the one that's currently right now is like a, I want to call it an oval, but it's not it's like curved on the outside. It's a circular track. It's like straight and then a curve that's broad into a straight and then like a narrow. The second big curve is more narrow.
So the curves are not the same. Okay.
One side is wider, and it took me a second. Like I was watching it, and my friend Kevin didn't cue in on that, and I was like, they're coming out of the second turn way faster than they come out of like this curve.
Yep.
And he was looking at it, and then he went on his phone and he did a Google Maps, and he was like, oh yeah, it's definitely like more broad as you come out, you can hit it and like fly out of it faster. And so they did the Legends cars, and that was really cool. Then they did, I know what people call them. It's called the MX-5, the Mazda MX-5.
Yep.
You guys all know them as the Miata, but they had the Miata class, and those motherfuckers cooked around the track, man. And I guess the guy who owns the track is one of those guys, and of course he won. His Miata fucking smoked him. But then they do
local
sprint
knowledge.
Yeah, then they do
on his own track. No way.
Yeah,
No
then
way.
they do sprint cars. Sprint cars was like the headliner, right? Man, what a fun day, man. We went out, and it was like, good 2 hours.
So the switching gears a little bit. Pardon the pun. Yeah, I watch World Cup mountain bike downhill racing.
You're a mountain biker.
I am.
You fucked yourself up a couple times.
But yesterday there was a World Cup in Leogang, Austria.
Love it.
That was won by 500ths of a second.
Shit.
The first and second place were separated by 500ths. If you pulled your stopwatch out on your phone and you hit as fast as you possibly could, which I did today, the fastest I could do was 1100ths. The race was won by 500.
No way.
That's
And that's all they had to look at it through a camera.
It's all like timer beams. So like you break. It's
you
break the beam when you start, and you break the beam when you stop.
Yeah,
500ths.
That's gnarly.
Wow. That's nothing. Like that's nothing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like first of all,
on a 3-minute course.
First of all, it's amazing if you win, but if you lost that, you're like,
yeah. The guy who got second was pretty pissed, dude.
Like what could you do? Like I could have leaned a little more.
Yeah, he could have pushed his front end a little faster.
Like
just a microscopic amount.
You literally cannot start and stop your timer on your phone faster than that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But going back to the race thing, it's like that. It's again such a crazy cool number one throwback. So I'm sitting there and there's young people, which was cool. I was stoked about it. There's old people. There was the old timer in front of us with his Vietnam shirt on, and they get up, and I wish I just had too much respect not to film this. But like you get up and they're all, please, ladies and gentlemen, rise for the greatest country in the world. And
It's like going to the rodeo, man. They still play the national anthem and everything.
And the guy gets up and he's got his New Balance. Excuse me, his New Balance on. He's got his cargo shorts on. He's got his polo shirt. He's got his T-shirt that says he's a Vietnam vet tucked in. His cap on, but he's like saluting, and it's all. And it's like the worst recording of the national anthem playing over a PA. And I tell my friend, I'm like, honestly, all these things I do that like podcasting has given me, like the pro wrestling, like commentary, the whatever. When I'm done, I just want to come out here and be the guy who's doing the announcing for this.
Have you ever been to the rodeo at the fairgrounds, the annual like the state fair rodeo?
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Please get on your feet and rise as we celebrate the greatest country in the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
And it's like, and then there's always like two women on horses with the American flag and the New Mexico flag riding around like in a circle.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a little part of me, progressive, liberal, but grew up in a farming and small. That just resonates. I don't know what it is.
It's real.
It's
man.
Americana.
It's America. Like, you know, that's still a large.
Yeah.
It's still a large part of our community.
Yeah. And like I'll go to a rodeo. My friend's like, that's so barbaric. And I'm like, this is how they did things. This is how like bull riding. Okay. Bull riding was not how they did things. You didn't need to break a bull and ride him around.
Yeah,
but you did need to know how to ride a bronc.
Bronc was like how they broke horses.
Absolutely.
Roping is how they would catch animals to brand them.
You probably don't know this. My dad's a horseshoer. I grew up on
I did not. A farrier.
Well,
yeah.
Yes, technically.
Yeah.
We never called it that.
No kidding.
I grew up breaking horses. I grew up on a horse ranch in San Diego.
I did not know. What?
I grew
First of all, there's horse ranches in San Diego,
rural San Diego County.
Got it.
So yeah, absolutely. Both of my daughters have done mutton busting at the rodeo.
Nice.
I 100% know about mutton busting.
Sheep riding. Yeah, they both came in second. Neither one of them won yet, but they're my little one's super tenacious, so she might win this year.
That's so cool.
She's pretty gnarly. So
you see, that's the thing that makes more sense now. How you and I are more like connected because we are like these urban guys. We live in the city, but we have these like rural roots where we love like Americana.
Yeah.
We have cowboy boots. We have,
grew up out in the country.
Yeah. I didn't know that about you because I grew up in the country. I grew up farming and ranching. I wasn't a horse rider though.
I'm a pretty good horseshoer to this day.
No kidding.
Yeah. That's my dad. Yeah. So I grew up working for my dad. Breaking horses, cleaning stalls, shoeing horses. Like that was my gig.
Well, that's some work, man. And like I think about that, like it's funny because like people are like, oh, my dream is to live on a farm and like
most people don't have the stones for that.
And I look at them and they're like I'll go on a dating site and they're talking about that. And I'm like, have you done that work? And like, no. And like, are you not into that? I'm like, no. Like, why? Because I grew up doing
because we did that.
I did it.
This is a running thing on the show. Almost all of our basically if you wind up being a host on this show, you probably grew up on a farm.
Yeah,
because I grew up.
I love that.
I grew up on a farm.
Where'd you grow up, Smiley?
Arkansas.
Damn straight.
Portsmouth, Arkansas. My great.
I've been to Fort Smith, Arkansas.
My great uncle Jim had a farm. Like ran it till he was in his late 80s, and so like that was normal. Going out to Jim's farm.
Oh yeah,
work all day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chris did that. Our old host Holly Ann did that.
Most of that. Billy, not so much.
Billy, not so much, but he's aware of farm work. He was around.
What did you? Okay, like, were you? So we're the same age.
Yeah.
So like, were you like watching Hee Haw as a kid? Were
No,
you
I
watching?
lived it, man. I wasn't gonna watch it on TV.
No,
like-
see, no. I'm not saying you wanted to.
Oh, a lot of John Wayne.
A lot of John
Lot
Wayne.
of John Wayne.
So for me, like I would go to my grandparents' house. There was Bonanza on TV.
Love Bonanza. Yep.
There was Hee Haw on TV. There was the Nashville Network on TV.
Mm. I watched a lot of Lawrence Welk.
The Grand Old Opry.
Yep.
And as a kid, I was like, God, I hate this.
Oh, so much.
Lawrence Welk was the worst.
It was the worst. But you know what? As an adult, you're like, damn,
That was actually fucking dope, right? You're like,
Pretty
God
weird
damn
shit going on here.
big, like country big band, like Western swing big band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, like I'm like, it's so funny because like I wear like for the cabaret show, I wear like these outrageous jackets, and people are like, wow, where did you get the idea for those styles? And I'm like, it's called fucking old style. Have you ever seen what's his name? Porter Wagner? I'm like, God damn. Like
Buck Owens.
Buck Owens. God damn, what an amazing son of a bitch right there.
Bakersfield Sound, baby.
Bakersfield Sound, one of the greatest guitarists ever lived.
Unbelievable.
And one of the coolest fucking guitars ever.
Uh-huh.
But like
No Show Jones.
if you're listening to this show and you're like, who's Porter Wagner? Google Porter Wagner right now. And I'm gonna tell you, his suit, awesome.
100%.
I don't know which one he's wearing. Awesome. It's called a nudie suit, and you're like, oh, nudie suit. Nope, that was a designer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a famous country star in the 60s and 70s, you wanted a nudie suit.
Absolutely.
Graham Parsons wanted his own design nudie suit, and his was Flying Burrito Brothers. Oh, fan-fucking-tastic.
It's one of the greatest stories in rock and roll when Graham Parsons bailed on his tour to join the Stones.
Fuck yeah, it was. And then Keith Richards was like, "Hey man, you need to go back to work."
I don't think he ever did.
The Graham Parsons?
No.
Yeah, the great story about that is Chris Hillman and Graham Parsons were doing the Flying Burrito Brothers, and they discovered Emmylou Harris.
I did not know that.
Oh, you did not know this?
No. News.
And they were like, you need to come out on tour with us. And she was like, oh my God, it's Graham Parsons and Chris Hillman, because Chris Hillman's from the Byrds.
Yeah.
So she went on tour with them, and she was like, I watched this on a documentary, and she was like, well, I was like so stoked out on this like great opportunity. So we go out on tour, and I would open and like get the audience primed, and then they would come out fucked up.
Graham was
and like fall off
rocker.
their stool, and they couldn't do their set. And so she finally was like, after like the fourth show, she was like, okay, we're having a meeting. You motherfuckers are going to ruin my career. Like I'm excited you brought me out because your name recognition, but you need to get this shit together. Party all you want after the fucking show, but you are performing before you drink and whatever else.
Was Chris Hillman the double neck guitar player for the Byrds?
I'm not sure, but he was. They started the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Okay.
And if you don't know who the Flying Burrito Brothers and you like country music, you don't like country music.
Yeah, listen to the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Oh fuck, one of the greatest. Yeah.
And Graham Parsons.
Graham Parsons, dude. Devil in Disguise.
Streets of Baltimore.
Gosh, we gotta go. Like, I've never seen him, and I don't know how I missed this. Is what's his name from Bakersfield? Other than Buck Owens.
Other than Buck? Oh, tall, skinny dude.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've seen him a couple times.
And he's not tall and skinny anymore, but yeah. Oh gosh.
Lyle. No, not Lyle.
No. Oh God. And he plays in New Mexico all the time.
Give ourselves a break for a second. I'll come to us.
All right, I'll come to us.
Tall, skinny dude.
One of the greatest.
Hawk nose.
Yeah, from Bakersfield, California, country singer, one of the greatest of all time. Who Streets of Bakersfield with Buck Owens.
Yep.
Fuck, what is his name? And I could Google it, but it's fine.
No, we're not allowed to use our phones right now.
No, we're not.
There's no Googling.
No, there's no Googling. We're having fun. We're having a good time. God, I'm so excited. Like, that's why I wanted, I'm so excited this is happening. So what are the trends that are coming in beer right now? What's coming? What are we excited about?
Trends in beer are super clean, either super clean or super fruity.
Okay.
Topo Chico, seltzers.
Yeah. It's what's selling. Right?
Nope. Nootropics, like any kind of functional beverage.
Dwight Yoakam.
Thank you.
God
Boom.
dang it. Yes.
Got it. Streets of Bakersfield.
Yes.
It like, it's odd to say as the new owner of a brewery, a local brewery, like craft beer is dead. We can't rest on our laurels. We have to be super adaptive and flexible
to the market,
to people. Yeah. Well, what do people want? They want to have a good time in a different way than they used to.
Right.
They want to be social and they don't know how.
So
our market isn't like the 50-year-olds that have been drinking IPA forever. Like they will love us no matter what. Not that we're going to take them for granted.
No.
But like we have to figure out how to like get.
But it's not hard to make that IPA.
It's really not, man. It's really not. What is really hard is figuring out how to get the next generation to come and hang out.
Right.
That's really the $1 million question for all of us. Liquor stores, podcasts, brewery owners. Like, how do we get the
heroin? How do we get people on heroin?
How do we get them to not be on heroin?
Exactly.
How do we get them to not do fentanyl and come and fucking hang out, man?
Hang out and talk with other people like a regular person.
Put your phone down and talk like a regular person.
Put the fentanyl down and talk like a regular person.
And be wrong. Have an opinion, but not be afraid to be wrong. Like just converse. We've like as a society, we've lost the ability. Like, well, we haven't lost it. I don't believe that we've lost it.
No.
But
we're slipping.
We are slipping. We need to get more flexible and better.
What I've noticed with the younger generation is I have a few nieces and nephews now, and even though they're old enough to go to bars and everything, they don't know how to drink in public.
No,
they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're actually a little scared to be in a brew pub.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's cool. It's cool. You just go in there, you hang out. You don't even have to get drunk. You can just have a beer.
Yeah.
Well, wait, what?
Okay.
No, the whole point of this is to hang out with people.
I like what he's saying.
I think we have to rewrite the rules and like give young people the levity to just kind of experiment. And like when we were young, dude, there were no rules. There were no cell phones and there were no rules.
When we were young.
And we made a lot of mistakes. And these kids are so scared to make a mistake because the cameras are everywhere.
Because it's everywhere.
Just
that's an interesting concept. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no pictures of me getting kicked out the back of Bert's, you know?
You know what I want to bring up, and like it's also a part of this conversation. You know who's killing it? Athletic Brewing.
They are.
That NA thing is smart.
It is smart.
It's smart.
And
I'm grasping onto this.
And okay, there are two prongs to this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do we need alcohol to hang out? No. But
I like a beer.
Should we be less afraid to make mistakes? Yes. Just make a mistake and be okay and move on. Give your friends the levity and the gravity to like be an ass for like 5 minutes or an hour one night and just like forget about it. Don't like bury them for it.
Right.
Stop crucifying people. Just like be an ass.
Sure.
Move on. Everyone moves on with their life.
But I like this thing now where I can go out and I'm like, oh, I've had 3 beers and I'm going to drive home. And people are like, oh, what'd you have? I'm like, oh, I had the Athletic. And they're like, oh, then I'm like, oh, God, yeah, you're great. Awesome. And I feel fulfilled. Like I'm like, because I did this social thing and I was like there and I had the thing in my hand and I was drinking it and it tastes like what I'm used to.
100%.
And I have no consequence of it.
And I'm
so interesting.
And I agree with you. Responsibility is an important part of all of this.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking about, I'm concerned as a society that we are burying our emotions and our experiences.
Sure.
And we're so afraid to fail.
Right.
Because someone's probably filming it.
And I agree on that.
That we haven't like learned the hard lessons.
No.
Just make a mistake and move on.
Yeah. You know,
I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I love that. I love that too.
Sometimes the funnest things in life are falling down.
Yeah. But
picking yourself back up again is the most important part of falling down.
Did you see what I just did? That was crazy.
Well, and owning it.
Own it, absolutely.
And like, I'll be honest, like we've taken off more in the last like 3 or 4 years because I think the younger generation is like, I don't know how to like act like that, like how you guys are acting. And like, I'll go out in public and people like come up and they're like, and like, I've gotten way more opportunities because like if someone's like, hey, will you go on the stage?
You're out and about a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, but like we have this thing on stage. Will you go do it? Yes.
It's hard to get people to do that.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to do that because it's like they're not outgoing anymore.
And
Yeah.
might you fail? Yes.
Yeah.
And will we pick you up
Yeah.
when you do? Absolutely.
Well, that's how I know you.
Yeah.
Like I'll go out and do things, and it's like, I used to do with your old employer. I used to go do their October Fiesta. I won't do it again.
You're welcome to. Probably should.
No, with your old employer?
I don't care.
I do, because they stiffed me the last time I did it.
Oh.
They didn't pay me. They literally did not pay me. And then when I hit them up to be paid, I got ghosted.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, well, we're done now. And when they hit me up in October, I'll be like, oh, you didn't pay me last year. We had a handshake deal.
This is news to me.
They
apologize.
went from the handshake deal we always had, to like, well, you need to invoice us. And I was like, invoice you? We're all friends, man. I don't need to invoice. We don't need to invoice. We have a handshake. Like, well, just do me this for me. And they were like, okay. And then that never happened. And then I was like, hey, I didn't get this thing. I didn't even ask for money. Not even money. And they were like, just ghosted me. Isn't that rough, right? And I was like, well, all right. I guess that's over.
Well, fuck. I guess if you want to MC something for Marble, then
Bert, you tell me what to do when I'm there. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. But see, that's like why I get those gigs, is like, because like they're like, we asked everyone to do it and they said no, because people are like exactly what you're saying. They're like, I don't want to go up in front of someone and say fart or shit, and and
you know what, I love the premise of your show, 10 drink minimum. I mentally prepared myself, like, I'm gonna have more drinks than I normally would, because I think it's important to like put your filters away every once in a while and just say it like it is. Don't be afraid to fail. Like, I'm not afraid to fail. I fail all the time.
This is more than I normally drink.
It's more than I normally drink.
Right. We're getting old, man. We can't do that.
No, I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail, man.
Nah.
Put yourself out there, like, with confidence.
Well,
oh, exactly.
And
that's the way to do it.
Here's
Did you see my train wreck up there? Like, seriously. Like, I've come out of auditions just thinking to myself, like, wow, that was awful. That was so bad. Well, at least I went and did it.
But also, like, there's those times where, like, here's how you and I know each other, because we were out and hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, no, because like I was hanging out with somebody, and they were like, "Hey, you do what?" And I go, "Yeah," but I was out, and I was putting myself out there, and I was drinking, I was hanging out, camaraderie, networking, and it was the right people that were. I'll tell you how it all happened. Actually, I could tell you that.
You remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
So my friend Donovan, who works for one of the distributorships now, I don't remember if it's National or Admiral or whatever. I don't know, one of them. He's like, hey, I'm going to the soft opening for, and he and I went to college together. He's like, I'm going to the soft opening for Green Jeans. And he was like, do you want to go? And I was like, fuck. And like, even if I was like, next day it was going to be terrible, whatever, I'm like, yep, that sounds amazing, because I just know how important being out and being social and being with the right people and presenting the right thing is. So I go and I'm with Donovan. He introduces me. I meet the people who were your salespeople, and they're like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, he has this podcast. And then, of course, like, they bring it up. They're like, wow, would you do a podcast for us? I was like, oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you want me to. Of course I was. That's why I was there. You know what I mean?
It's called laying the...
Yeah. Being in the right place at the right time.
Laying the foundations.
Putting yourself in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And then we did that first show there, and you weren't there because your kid was born.
I feel like I've been on this podcast before Charlie was born, though.
Yeah, it was the first one. No, because
Okay.
we did our show live at Green Jeans upstairs.
Oh, that's right. I remember that one.
Alana was on.
I was in this room before that show at Green Jeans.
No, sir.
Yeah, with Silas.
You not sure? You sure we're not?
Are you sure?
Yes, because I did not live here yet. I was at Rosemont. So
Rosemont.
so we
there.
went. So we
Ah.
went, and your kid was born, and they were like, "We're sorry, Bert couldn't be here." Because I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to tell you the
Oh.
timeline.
Yeah. All right.
So then, like, it was Alanis, and
I'm gonna have to get a glass of whiskey.
I can't think of his name. He had glasses. He was a marketing. He went on to like work for the company that like cleaned lines at bars.
Soda.
And Silas was on there with us, and we all did like a podcast, Green Jeans. So then Brody. So then 6 months goes by, nothing happens. You go down to El Paso, and you do a podcast down there
With Michelle. I remember her.
and Santa Fe was not happy with it.
Huh.
Yeah, they were like, they email me, and they're like, "Hey, we would love to apologize to you." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "We would love to apologize. We took you for granted. We did not realize how good at this you were. We had Bert in El Paso. We were launching a beer, and he did a podcast, and they were very green. Those were the words they used. And we would like to do another one. And we would like to have you come up to Santa Fe and do a show." And I'm like, "Whoa, all right." And that's when they were like, "Well, you look at the calendar, you pick a band, and we'll drive you up." And so we went up there and we watched the old 97s, and we did the show behind the bar. Do you remember this?
I do remember this,
Yeah.
but I do think the timeline is
No.
a little off.
I
I
can pull it up. I can pull the emails
I
up.
remember being in
No.
this studio.
No, that was the 7K one, man.
He was on before the 7K.
He was, but like,
Because
Yeah.
I was almost now we're going deep into the library.
yeah,
Silas and I did a podcast
we
with
did.
you.
Yes,
Clearly that was before 7K.
it was.
And
The 7K one was like off the cuff. You guys were like, "Can we come over?"
of,
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that honestly, I don't do
Yeah.
many of these.
No, you don't.
And I'm pretty sure that we hung out here long before 7K launched.
Right. Well, I got this in 2020.
This space?
Yeah,
Okay. Did you what was the space before this?
It was over in Rosemont,
over
there,
It was like over near Marble,
over next to Marble. Actually,
like
we
literally
we
like
could walk-
2 blocks from Marble.
We could walk from the old studio to
Yeah.
Marble.
I'm gonna play ignorant here. Was there a room with microphones and headphones? I think we were in your living room.
Yeah, we
We-
did. Then you did do it.
We were in your living room. Like
Yeah.
we walked straight from the sidewalk into your living
Yes,
room and just
okay.
plopped there.
Yes, you are
Yep.
correct. Then you did do it.
Okay.
But that was not the original. The original was like the very first one you were not at.
That's
It
possible.
was me, Alanis, Silas,
But I
Smiley. I have a picture of it.
I moved to Santa Fe in 2014. 7K came out in 2017.
Mhm.
So it was definitely in that 2014 to
Right,
2017
right.
gap.
But like it was crazy. I have an email where they're like they emailed me and they're like, "Hey, we're very sorry."
Hey, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I managed my calendar very poorly.
Oh, haven't
so
we all?
this is definitely
No,
possible.
but it's one of those things where like I'm tying back to where you're at, where it's like people come up to me and they're like, "How?" Like I do the commentary for wrestling, and I was literally standing in line waiting for a beer, and I'm I look different than the crowd because I'm like in a blazer because I'm doing commentary and I'm on TV.
and classy.
In classy and really good looking and all those things.
All the things.
But a kid comes up and he's like, "Can I ask a question?" And you're always like, "Oh, what's this gonna be?" And he goes, "How did you get here?" I was like, and at first I was like, how did I get to the building? Because I don't know what you mean. He goes,
Because
"No,
I walked, kid.
I
out of the
walked,
way."
hey kid, I walked here.
My
No.
Chevrolets.
Chevrolets. So I was like, "What do you mean by that?" And he goes, "How did you get to this level?" And I was like, and I literally looked at him and I went, "I'm going to tell you the most important word in the English language." And he goes, "What's that?" And I go, "Networking." Because it is. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not only being in the right place at the right time, but sometimes it's putting yourself in the right place at the right time.
and being social and being even when you don't want to be.
I think
Yeah.
networking is like more simple. I think it's just liking people.
Mm-hmm.
Just like people and be friendly.
And I say this because I've watched you have to present and be in front of people, and you do not like it at all.
No, I hate presenting.
You do.
True,
And they're like, Bert, we have this new beer. Go tap the keg. And you're like, I was sitting and the funny thing was,
I like personal interaction,
yes,
not performative
yes.
interaction.
And this is why I will be honest with you. I loved the Santa Fe people because there was like a whole group of you guys, and you were all so close. And like, if you guys were all together, you were like this cohesive, like fun unit of people. And they'd be like, Bert, you need to go in front of everybody. And you'd be like, and you did not want to go do it. And it was like all of you were like that. And then you had the people that you hired to do that, and then they were on the outside and they were like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And they'd be like it. But then like the core group, you guys were like, I don't want to stand in front of actual people and talk.
No.
It was the funnest thing to watch, and I loved it. And I loved it. And I loved you guys because you guys were such a cohesive. You know what I'm talking about?
I actually do, and I think maybe this is as good a time as any to talk about this. I was there for 10 years, man.
Yeah.
Love some of those people are my favorite people in the world. It's fucking painful to leave that, and it still haunts me to this day. And I wish it could have gone differently, and I tried to make it go differently. But life is just a fucking series of curveballs, and you don't get to write your own script. As much as some of us may try, and I really tried.
I mean, you get to write it some, but not like you wanna.
No, I mean, I really tried, man. I really tried. And I have a lot of love for so many people there, and life is hard sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know how else to explain it, but sometimes
things change.
Sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it to.
Things change.
Yeah.
Things change. Money changes things.
It does.
Time changes things.
It does.
And
you know what? There's a line from a Tyler Childers song that's been on my mind a lot. There are wounds alone. There are wounds that time alone will not heal. And that kind of haunts me, that like, some of these decisions will maybe never work themselves out, quote unquote. Maybe it just is what it is, and that fucking sucks, man.
It sucks.
Well,
like with going up and doing the thing I do, like Santa Fe asked me, they're like, hey, can you come and do this? Yeah. Well, I didn't have a way to get up there, so I drove myself, and I didn't drink. I chose not to drink so I could do it, because I was like, man, I love these people. I love, you. And I get up there, and I see only like I'm friends with a lot of the staff now.
Yeah.
So because I've done it, I've done it like 4 or 5 times. And they were like, well, can you give us an invoice? I'm like, man, we're not on that level in my mind.
Just give me some cash.
No, I don't want it cash. It wasn't even for cash. It was for beer.
Oh.
Yeah, they
stiffed me on beer.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they usually give us beer for that.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. And like all I wanted, and I did the whole day. I drove up there and I drove home. And I was like, and then that Monday they were like, well, hit me up. And then I hit a person up and they ghosted me, and I hit them up again. They ghosted me, and I went, okie dokie. I guess that's where we're all at now.
I'm sorry that happened.
I was like, man,
I can't explain it. I don't know.
We're back in the day, we were all friends, and we like had the greatest time. And I rode the Rail Runner up, and I had a crazy story where and now we're all just business and bullshit, and that's life, and that's how shit goes. And I move along. And if Bert Boyce goes, Chris, I need this from you, Chris will go, Bert, if I can move heaven and earth and be there, I'll do it. And that's how you and I are.
I mean, yeah. If you tell me you're gonna put a bar and a kegerator over there, I just fucking give you.
Well, I need one more thing from you. I need a thing on the front that says Marble.
I can probably make that happen.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. That looks like behind you.
Yeah, I can probably make.
Because then whenever I pan over over to Smiley on the thing. It just says Marble.
Because he's not going to be sitting in that chair anymore. He's going to
No.
be behind the bar.
No, he'll be sitting in the chair, but behind the bar.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be standing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, a
Yeah.
bartender is most comfortable behind the bar, usually leaning. Like,
And
I
I'll
like
want
to
it,
lean on the
and
bar.
I'll want him constantly cleaning. I'll be all Smiley. If
Obviously.
there's time to lean, there's time to clean.
Ooh, is there going to be a jar of bartender's friend on the bar,
Yeah.
like polishing?
Mhm.
He's either polishing glasses or polishing the
Yeah,
bar.
and I'm gonna need him to wear for
Look
weird
busy,
reason.
Smiley.
I
Look
want it.
busy.
Yeah, I want him to wear like an old timey like Western bartender outfit.
I love all of this
Just
so
'cause.
much.
But you know,
I will on occasion.
yeah.
I'll do what needs to be done.
But again, we've come a long way.
We
And
all
here we
have.
are.
We're old as fuck, man.
We're old as fuck.
we're
We're
50.
we're old as fuck.
Yeah.
We've done a lot,
Lived good lives.
but we're not done.
Absolutely not.
We're not done. You know, and
Actually, we're just beginning. in some
and
ways.
that's the thing I hate. Everyone's like,
We're just priming.
well, I'm old. I'm done.
We're
No, you're
primed and
not.
ready.
You're done. You're done when you give up. And like, I feel like Marbles now. Like you guys are gonna. I don't know. It's gonna be amazing. I think. I'm excited for you guys. You guys made me excited about brewing again.
We're gonna try really hard.
Yeah.
I
okay,
promise you that.
fair enough.
We're gonna try really hard.
You made me exciting about brewing again, and no one has done that in a long time. When other people are getting out of it,
Yeah.
you're like, we're not only getting out of it,
We're doubling down.
we're gonna double down and take on the biggest fucking like golem thing that we could do, like this big, you know, because this you didn't buy like some building like in the middle of Albuquerque. You bought 3. You bought a distribution.
Yeah.
It's in how many states? How many states are you in?
I've a few. All I'm
Yeah.
focused on. Really, I will say this: we're focused on Albuquerque.
Pull that mic to you.
We're
pull
we're,
that
fo-
mic, yeah.
we're focused on Albuquerque, man.
Right.
Like everything else is
But-
ancillary. Like we just want to be the Marble that Marble was
Yeah.
a couple years ago. We want to be important in our city,
Yeah.
and if we can do that, everything else will kind of flow from that. I want to be important in this town. I want to throw good shows. I want
Yeah.
to be the beer that people like when they go in the grocery store. Like, boom! I don't even think about it. Just I buy cerveza. I buy double white.
You know what's funny too is like the other day, someone was like, "Oh, Marble, I used to go to a lot of shows there," and I was like, "Oh, they're doing a lot of shows again," and they were like, "Oh, are they?" And I saw like that light. Like I brought it up a couple times.
Yeah.
And people were like, they remember. They're like, especially our age, they don't go out at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
If they
Our
can
show
go-
started at 8:30.
yeah, or Sunday, or Saturday.
Saturday afternoon, Friday 8:30, Saturday afternoon
Yeah.
5:00.
And those were like, you know, I remember like walking into Marble, I would know 15 people.
Yeah.
Right away. And, you know, have a conversation with like 15 different people. There would be 1 to 2 amazing food trucks.
Oh, can I plug this?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, I'm so excited for this. Chef Marie from Bocadillos.
Okay. Yeah. The a famous Chef Marie.
I don't think she's like internet famous, but she's a fucking badass cook and
Yeah.
a Britannia legend. Is taking over the food truck. Like we have a giant food trailer
Oh,
behind us
at the main.
at the main at 111.
Really?
Yeah, Chef Marie from Bocadillos
Yeah.
is reopening Bocadillos.
No shit.
Oh, wow.
No, when you say internet famous, she was on like Chopped.
Yeah, and Food Network or something.
Yeah, the internet
I-
famous.
I don't watch TV, dude. I don't know.
World famous.
She's
Famous.
famous, but she's Britannia to the core. Dude.
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
so
yeah.
fucking legit. Like, and yes, I'm so excited.
Never had her food, never once. Excited now. You got me. Like, see,
I'm excited. Like, you know what? Maybe that's the plug.
Yeah.
That's the only plug I've had all night.
Hell yeah.
Is that Chef Marie is like gonna open a spot
No,
at
you've
Marble.
plugged your brewery.
Well, you know, you hit the right one because that's what I'm like. There's some food there
Yeah,
and good food. I'll be showing them.
and reliably. Food trucks are
Yes.
hard, man. No shade
Yes.
on food trucks. It's hard. It's hard to be a food truck,
Yep.
and it's hard to run a place that relies on food trucks. It's
Right.
hard both ways.
Right.
Marie's gonna be there soon. We are so pumped, dude.
That's so good. See, here's what I love. So I'm not talking to Bert. I'm talking to you guys. I'm sitting in the room with him, and I'm watching him get excited. And that's what I love about this.
Do you know her? She's so cool. Like I can't wait to just hang out with her.
Look how
every day.
excited he is.
She's so fucking cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's infectious. Like this is what I love. This is why I'm excited, because like I haven't been excited about brewing in Albuquerque in like 5 years. And people come up to me all the time. They're like, "You do drink random? Do you know about this place? Do you know about this place?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then like, it's rare. There's places in Albuquerque now that exist. Back in the day, like there would be a place. If there was a new place, I would go.
You would know about it for sure.
Now I know about them. I just don't go. Don't care. And I'll be like, "What's the beer like?" And they're like, "Eh." And I'm like, if you say, "Meh," now, if you're like, you got to try it. Now, it's been a while since, even worse, it's like not only are places not opening up, now there's places that I love that they're selling it.
Yeah.
Walking away. And I'm like, Or they're like opening a new place and it's like corporate-y, gross. And I don't like it. The food sucks. And it's this like environment. It's like gourmet chef, like you better dress nice. And I'm like, it's beer.
Dude, Chef Marie will fucking stab you.
She'll stab you, bro.
She will fucking stab you.
She will fucking stab you, bro.
But then also give you some Adavada that you will die for.
Yes.
She's like, "You're bleeding out, bud. Here you go. Check it out, nah." Right? Did you see how quickly I turned that shit on? I became Burkano real quick. She's like, "Hey, essay, you're bleeding out, but check out this carne Nevada. It's fucking nice." Yeah.
She's gonna make her own bolillos for tortas.
Yes, that was good.
I think she's most excited about her bolillos and the slow roasting. Like this food truck is crazy. I don't even know. We don't even have to talk about that. She's very excited about all the food she's gonna be able to make.
I'm stoked about
Hell
that.
yeah.
I am stoked about all of it. I went to the anniversary. I kind of introduced you to a couple of bands, and I was like, you were like, "I'd never seen these guys," and I was like, really?
honestly, I've heard of
the Cameras
for years.
Yeah,
I'm embarrassed to say that I never saw them before your birthday.
Well, they quit playing Marble.
I know.
Did they tell you?
I talked to Amanda that night. I was like, "Are you like?" I didn't tell her like, "Hey, but I asked her, like, would you be willing to come back? She's like, absolutely. They did come back.
Yeah, they did. Because like the people there before kind of like fucked it all up.
Yeah.
It's like, you're stupid. But you
can only burn so many bridges.
Yeah, man. It's like, yeah. So here we go again. Like, art, the things that I feel about Marble is art, culture, beer. I mean,
art, culture, beer, music, food.
Yeah.
Like if that is the fabric of community right there. Like conversation, connection, like nothing matters. All art, culture, music, food, beer, they're all vehicles for cultural connection. And if we don't care about each other, then none of that matters. But if we do, these are just vehicles to bring us back together, to hang out again. I just want people to hang out again, man. I just like hanging out. I just want us to be like, can we be a fucking society again where we hang out? That's all I want.
This is the best I've ever seen you on a podcast.
That's all I want, man.
Man, I'm loving this.
I just want us to hang out again.
God, you're killing it, because you're absolutely 100% right.
I'm just speaking like this is why we did this.
Yes,
I believe this. And if I didn't believe this, I'm an idiot. But I do believe this.
Because you know what? You work all week. You get up, you work, and then you're like, you go home, and you're like, oh, I'm so excited to go home. But like, there's the weekend. In the weekend, if you look at your favorite place where they have those beers you like, and you go, what are they doing there? And you're like, oh, there's like going to be this music there. And you're like, what kind of music? You go listen to it, and you're like, oh, I like this. And all of a sudden, you're like, this is exciting that I have the weekend. The weekend's coming. I'm going to have go fun. And you walk into Marble, and you see that person. You go, hey. And you see that person. You go, hey. You see that person, and you say, "Hey," and you sit there and you like catch up with them, and in the background are the bands that are playing, and you can go talk to the band.
You're an extrovert. I'm an
Yeah.
extrovert.
Yeah,
I recharge my battery when I go into a situation. There are people there
yeah,
that I want to talk to,
Yes.
and like a community that I want to like reconnect with.
right,
I walk into that and I feel like alive.
right.
And I know you feel the same. That's why I see you out every time I go out. You're there. Anywhere I go, I see you. Like that's real.
Yeah,
We're not alone in that.
no.
We need to like gather more people into our clan. Maybe that's not a good word. Sorry. But
in our group,
our crew, our people. Let's get more people into our people.
Our community.
Our community. I like community.
I always
a great
love
word.
And I'm gonna start like what I always like hate is when people go, "What's 10 drink minimum?" To explain that podcast. So I'm just gonna be like, you know what? It's a podcast about community. I'm just gonna start saying it. It's about community, art, beer, culture.
Yeah.
Done.
Boom.
Yeah. Anyway, Houston, Texas, Comic Palooza, Smiley and I.
Oh yeah.
And Ming Chen are
Cross your
broadcasting
fingers.
Friday night at 9:45. We got the Friday night slot at 9:45, and at first I was like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "It's also during karaoke." And I'm like, "So I'm gonna have to stop and go, excuse me, guys, I've got to go sing Rod Stewart real quick. If you want my body." No, I'm just kidding. But like at first I was like, "What's going on with it?" And then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, we got the party slot."
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
9:45 on Friday night.
Oh, I'll be ready.
They did that on purpose.
Prime time.
We're in front of a lot of people. That night.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love a good audience.
Yeah. So yeah. Excited.
And I'm excited. Have a great time.
God, I'm excited for you. So this is like going to be the, you're coming on more. I mean, you're gonna, right?
Well, I'm sponsoring you, so
yeah.
I guess I'll be back next time we have something to talk about.
Well, and that's the thing is like, well, see,
talk shit. But...
Here's what I want you to understand about that. If you do need to talk about some shit, tell me. Like, hey, Chris, can we give me a heads up and like, because we're like booking out like usually around 2 to 3 months right now, and I can definitely and if it's something, here's the other thing. If it's something big, I'll do a special one for you.
Hey, baby.
Guess what Smiley and I've never done.
I don't know what, a Wednesday night podcast.
No, we've done that.
Oh,
I think we have one coming up next month.
Oh, okay.
We ain't never done a podcast from
Marble Brewing.
No, sir.
That is true.
Never once.
Done. I know someone who can make that happen.
Done a lot of breweries. A lot. I would say we've probably done 15 or 16 breweries.
There was a while we were just on that. Yeah.
We were at one like every week.
Yeah, that was like we were on a little tour.
No, once a month. Once a month. And then like people are like, "Hey, you never done one for Marble?" I was like, "Yeah, they never asked." I never even met the people who run it till now.
We don't talk about the past, but
yes, sir.
Here we are.
No, the past ain't a big deal. Future's a big deal.
Future is where it's at.
You're the show, brother.
You're the show.
You're the show.
I'm just hanging out.
You and Jarrett, man, I'm so stoked for you guys. I love both of you guys so much. Like, you guys both were like just the coolest, like just fun, like down to earth. That's what I want to point out. Down to earth, can hang out, and like you want to talk about beer. These are the people. Like, you just love beer. You just love people. And like, this is the best podcast I've ever seen you do.
Community, bring it all together, man.
Yeah. So go check out Marble Brewing if you come to Albuquerque.
Come hang out.
Because we have a wider base than just New Mexico. We have people from all over. And if you live in a state that Marble Brewery is brewed and you never tried it, try the double white, try the cerveza. Try. Do you have the red in cans in other states?
We red is very limited right now. Desert Fog. Frankly, we're not really. We're just trying to be New Mexico, man.
Yeah.
Not really.
You guys aren't putting out cans in other states now?
Less and less.
Really?
El Paso, Southern Colorado.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I mean, we have fans there, so
What's up, El Paso?
yeah.
Yeah,
What's up, Durango? What's up, Pagosa?
Dude, that El Paso places. You like Chico's Tacos?
Fuck yeah, dude.
What is up? He doesn't get it. He's like,
Oh, really?
I don't get it. And I was like,
it's only like 2 a.m. Like,
yeah, we went early, but I'll still eat it, man. My thing is like I ate it, and I was like,
they're reds. The red. It's all about the red sauce, dude.
right. I ate it, and then like I was like, all right, it's Bob's Burgers, and I was like, cool. And then like 2 days later, I was like,
I'm told that it grows on you.
It does. It's
no,
really
like 2 days later, I was like, I'd really like to eat that again. You know what? I don't know what it is. You know?
I think they put crack in the taquitos.
It could be. But yeah, I want to thank Bert Boyce for coming on, man. I love you, man.
Chris Burnett, Smiley.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Hell yeah.
You're one of us, man.
We're all in this together, dude.
Yeah.
We're just all trying to like again improve our communities,
Yes.
build our
And-
fucking community.
I want people to understand that when like we walk out of here, we're not going to be like, thanks, Bert, for coming by. We hug each other, we love each other, we see each other out in public. This is community. I mean, it's not kidding, man.
Chris is the mayor of downtown. So
yeah.
I do see him every time I go to a show.
I'm dating this woman, and she's like, I had to tell her about that, and she's like, and when I first bring it up, she's like, all right. So then a couple things had happened, and she was kind of like, oh, I did hear them call you that, and I was like, oh, okay. So then last night we're downtown, and we're walking over to see if Humble's open, and a guy pulls up to the intersection of Central and 7th, and he goes, holy shit, it's Chris Burnett, the guy with the famous podcast, out of his car.
The mayor of downtown, people.
And I wave, and we walk over to the coffee place. It's closed. We were walking back, and another group of people stop and shake my hand and talk to me. Then we get to the venue that we're going to go watch a band at, and they're like, oh, it's Chris? And they're like, yeah. And they just start stamping. I was like, well, actually, I have tickets. And they're like, oh, all right, we'll scan them. And she goes, were they just going to let you in? I was like, yeah. And then we go to leave, and there's a venue next door, and the fucking door guy's like, it's up, Chris. And she was like, okay, you were not fucking kidding. It's like, I was like, yeah. It's, it's a thing.
It's Albuquerque, baby.
Yeah. And I love it, but
I love it.
I love it. I mean, I'll have another way.
There's no button that.
There's no but.
There is none. Yeah. But I want to thank you for being on the show, and I want to, and if I bullied you into sponsorship, I feel bad.
No.
I just feel like there's no
You know what?
more organic.
What if someone else put their beer here? I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. See, if I was like, hey, we're sponsored by
Blah blah blah. Not naming names, but
La Lundra beer, you'd be
La
like,
Llorona Brewing Company.
La Llorona Brewing Company. You'd be like, what's up with that bullshit? And you know why? Because that does happen. Because like there's a distillery that's like, so what's up with this Topo Chico thing? What the fuck's that about? And I was like, I keep telling you, would you like to sponsor us? Would you like to give us product? And they're like, I don't know, man. You're sponsored by it. And I'm like, if you would like to do this, here we are. But and we might need some shirts or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care.
Topo Chico
dude,
sent us some shirts, and they were the worst.
They were not good.
Oh, we'll make better shirts than Topo Chico.
No,
I'll tell you
here's
that.
where I'm upset. You guys have a cool 70s one, and you don't have it in large. Like they didn't have it.
Oh yeah, no, our merch program is terrible right
I was
now.
sad. I was like,
we're making a bunch of new stuff right now.
yeah, I walked
Oh,
in
yeah.
and there's a cool 70s one. That's like kind of tan and has like 70s colors across it. You know what I'm talking about?
No, man, not at all.
And I go, hey, do you have that shirt in large? She goes, let me go look. She comes back. She goes, no, we have these others. I was like, I don't want those.
I just know again that's history. We're making more stuff.
Cool. Can you do some cool 70s stuff?
I do like 70s stuff.
If you need me to design them, I mean, I will.
I'll ask my people to get in touch with your people.
I am designing shit now. Do you know this?
I didn't.
I've been
Let's
designing
take this
clothes.
off air.
I've been designing clothes. Just saying. I'm gonna be the next Magnus Walker.
I love
Yeah,
that for
if
you.
you don't know who that is,
I love this journey for you.
he owns a lot of Porsches.
I love this journey for all of us.
I'm like, how do I own a lot of Porsches? I got to design clothes. So, all right. I want to thank Bert Boyce for coming on from Marble Brewery. I want to thank Smiley for being here.
Always.
Thank you for the beer.
Thank you,
Thank
boys.
you for the time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for this great show, man. Thank you for everything, man. You've been there. You're always a great friend and guy, man. And I cannot explain to you and Jarrett how excited I am for you guys.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
I'll probably see you at a show before I see you talking about beer next.
Yeah. But I mean, again, if you need it, you know.
I know where to find you.
Yeah, you're like, Chris, we have the 8K, coming out. We have the next big thing. Let me know.
Copy.
And we're on.
Roger.
We'll figure it out.
Thanks, brother.
I have standing orders with certain people that they can kind of do whatever they want with us. So, and you're one of those people. So, but Smiley, are you good?
Oh yeah, man. I don't have anything to promote right now other than our upcoming road trip.
Our
Houston road trip.
Yeah, Austin, man. Like, I'm a big Shiner guy.
Love Shiner.
I haven't been in Austin in years.
I've never been.
Oh, dude, you guys are gonna love it.
I'm afraid I'm gonna love it too much.
No, you can't afford it. You're gonna love it, but you can't afford it. It's expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
I never liked the weather out there.
Yeah, it's too
So it's
humid.
really nice.
Oh my god, I was just there. Oh, so my best friend and my goddaughter lived there. I was just there a couple weeks ago. It's hot and humid.
Already,
the food's really good.
Already,
the food's really good, and the dive bars are really good.
Mhm.
And I'll give you a list of music venues you guys should go check out.
Yeah.
Because you were just out there.
I was just there.
Yes.
Because Houston is, I love that one, but also the.
I've never been here since I got shipped there.
It's more.
That's all I know.
It's more humidity.
Bad.
It's about on par.
Swamp.
It's about on par, but Houston's just huge is the problem. It's huge.
Yeah.
It takes
Houston is
forever to
the
get
third largest
anywhere.
city off and on. Like it and
Yeah.
Chicago trade,
Totally.
but I love it. I do love it.
Have fun.
I have friends there.
Have fun, boys.
But yeah, we will be in Houston at the end of June, and next Saturday, Almost AAA Cabaret. Come out, say hello, take a picture with me, have fun. It's one of the coolest things you can do in Albuquerque. You should come.
I will be out of town next weekend, but I will go to the next show you do. I'll go to your next cabaret show.
Have you been to the wrestling yet?
No. Oh, I saw that. I want to go. I love wrestling.
Okay.
I'll go to your next wrestling.
How about this?
Ooh.
You want to talk about sponsorships?
God damn it.
Have you thought about sponsoring the wrestling?
I've not thought about sponsoring wrestling, if I'm being honest.
Okay. Do you know we're part of the Billy Corgan?
From Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes. So Billy Corgan's group, the NWA, we're now a part of his territory program.
I'm confused. What does he have to do with NWA?
So
He
the
owns
NWA, you know the NWA? The oldest wrestling federation in the United States?
I'm thinking of the rap group.
Okay, so
LA,
National Wrestling
South
Alliance.
Central.
So early in wrestling in the
Yeah.
70s, there was like all the territories. There was like Georgia Championship Wrestling. There was the Carolinas.
I'm a casual wrestling fan
Well,
at best.
They were all governed under this body called the NWA. And like Ric Flair was the champion for a while. Dusty Rhodes was champion for a while. Anyway, when WWE broke away from them,
And Billy Corgan's into this?
well, hold on.
Sorry,
When WWE broke away from them, they like started buying up all of them.
Okay.
And like NWA shrank and became like a minuscule of what it was. And WWE took over and became like wrestling.
Okay.
Well, the NWA like kind of like struggled and followed, but then Billy Corgan, the huge wrestling fan, bought it
I love this.
5 years ago. No, like maybe like 6 or 7 years
I
ago.
think it was longer than that.
And he's trying to revive it. And it's probably the third largest promotion. It's WWE, AEW, and then NWA is still around. And they're like on YouTube. They're on the CW. Billy Corgan owns it. He has a reality show on Amazon Prime about it. And we partnered with them because we've grown that much that now we're the New Mexico territory for NWA. There's New Mexico, there's Texas.
This is an amazing story.
Yeah. So Billy Corgan should be coming He's seen me do commentary. He's commented on it. He commented that I was good. So
Clearly.
I'm saying, but sponsorships
Still
Marble Brewing.
available.
Yeah. So if you're interested, I could send the people your way to talk to you about them. So
We'll start small. I like to start. I'm trying to keep it local right now.
yeah, I mean it's locals. We do the live shows at the El Rey Theater. In the El Rey Theater, historic.
The historic El Rey.
And you want to be in the ring? You're in the ring, brother.
I do not want to be in the ring. Absolutely not.
You want to be a manager outside the ring?
No, absolutely not.
You want to be on commentary?
Nope.
You want to be in the crowd watching somebody get hit with a marble beer in the face?
I want to be in the crowd, yeah, for sure.
Watching somebody get hit in a marble beer in the face.
That sounds violent. I'm a very passive kind of guy.
It's wrestling.
It's all fake. No one's actually getting hit in the head.
You want to be backstage?
I'll go backstage.
I'll bring you in.
I'm not a big.
Let me know the next. So the next one I won't be at because they put it at the same time we're going to be in Houston. But at the next one, I'll bring you. I'll introduce you.
Copy.
So all right, totally. I'm excited. God, I'm excited for you guys. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. It's been one of my favorite shows I've done in a long time. Not kidding. No joke. Love this. And you guys, I hope, love it too. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Smiley. With that,
we are
10
drink minimum.